to the left. You'll want to go 120 more than likely. 120.
Copy.
I may have a slight problem here.
All right, we are live at Citizencon, waiting the countdown and getting ready to go. And, oh, yeah, I forgot. I gotta do this.
Why'd you bring this rookie?
Foundation Festival. Tradition.
It may be worth just watching the commercials.
Which button?
Remote control.
I pressed everything. It's not working.
Get down!
Guys, which button do I press to get up? Which button do I press to get up? Alt F4.
Little does he know is you'll be hearing that beep for the next week. All right, let's get these things all set up. I will say they do come out with some really good commercials.
I do believe these are submissions for the Citizencon videos made by the community.
I think that probably is what they are, because that was all that contest and everything they were doing. That. Okay, so we got that all set up and ready to go. And of course, welcome to Citizencon 2955. For those that don't know, this is the yearly kind of roadmap update convention that occurs and usually is a 2-day event, but this year they are shortening it down to a 2-hour for focus on Squadron 42 this year, which I have no problem with, because I'd love to see Squadron 42 come out and can't blame them for doing that. And we're going to be joined here. We're here with H3, J-Scale, Anroll, Andy 70, who betrayed me the other night, and Gray Eagle, all for commentary.
It's his first day on
and
the job
we'll
after
be checking out
passing
everything
his
they have to
Atlas
offer.
certification. This is Edwards. After 36 years of a successful cargo foreman career, he's ready to retire.
Hello, Edwards.
This is Bob, your everyday hauler. Bob doesn't give a shit. Bob is too busy reading a funny post online.
I have a... Oh, hey. It kind of looks like my landings.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually about how they go for me. So we're going to take a quick skip over to the other night's Yormandi mission. We got to try it on PTU for the first time, and in getting down to the cave, Andy took a few hits and got pinned down. Didn't get incapacitated, but got pinned down. But I had made the decision to go back and work my way back to try to help him out. And in the process, somebody betrayed the hell out of me. So here we go. All right, making a run for the door. As I'm fighting off all these people solo, I should have just took more time and taken them all out back there. Make it to Andy, because he couldn't jump to save his life.
All
right.
Shoot, I'm stuck.
All right, hold on. And we do have
pick these
Andy
guys
in
up
chat
behind
here,
us.
so he can defend himself if he feels inclined. All right. Ron Dog, what's going on?
Yeah, somehow there's a delay with me.
Can you stand up at all?
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna incap you and pull you out.
Hold on. See. Oh, okay. I'm at 15%.
All right. I didn't even see there were a couple guys already in the alleyway on the right there.
3%. There I am. In cap.
For some reason, he was getting sucked into the superstructure. All right, you up?
Yes.
So got him up. We're getting rushed. I'm shooting like shit. All right. He's
Get
right there.
vaulted.
He's right there in front of me. He's still right in front of me. He's still right there in front of me. And there he goes. He walks over my body.
I got 20
And then he
seconds.
bails. He stepped on my back.
You went ahead, didn't you?
I did not see your body. Oh shoot! There you are.
And Andy's defense, I mean, does that a lot of all
Back
this.
down here.
Oh, thank you very
I'm
much
dead.
for that.
Just
Betrayed
catch up the
and stepped on by my own teammate.
I've been
Can you give me
concussed
cover
by
from down there,
Andy's
Creed?
backpack several occasions, so it's not intentional.
Andy, any words?
Just get him there, and I'll make my way to you.
I did not see your body marker until after I was over that.
You stepped on my head. So after
That was a little boost I needed. Yeah.
that was the little step up you needed in order to get over the boxes. All right, so after that, I did catch back up to him, and we got
Holding
down
the
there to
FS9,
take on the
just go
Yermandi.
into
Ninth
inventory.
actually had a little. He wanted to trade the FS9
then
for a
take the
Karna.
cursor
Why I
and
don't know. He
highlight the
likes
FS9,
the
drop
Karna,
it to
but
the
to each their own. But we lost that in the floor, and then we did get down there to be able to take on the Yermandi, and here is that battle here. Hi, Bailey. Yes. So you trip that switch down there. As far as I can tell, there was nothing to do with
I
those
can't pull
batteries.
these out. Oh, shit.
It just keeps going and going and going.
This was a fun battle. Now, it's nowhere near as big as the Valakar.
Well, that was
I know there was some questions before we saw visuals of it as far as how big it was going to be. But this is definitely not a Valakar. I mean, obviously, it's a Yermandi, but it's
Yeah,
more
'cause
of an
he's hitting
electric eel. Now, we had watched a group actually from the observation deck before this, and our battle didn't seem to last as long as theirs, but we also had one or two more people. But this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's immune to volt weapons, because two of them were using volt weapons, so maybe that's why they weren't damaging it.
I don't know. I mean, I was on the Karna, and then I know Ninth had an FS9 and a
Grenade
Karna.
I didn't know you
Grenades
did
were kind of
that.
useless. Ron Dog, I tried that. Actually, I threw, you'll see here that I throw a couple of the batteries in the water. We even tried shooting one on the second or the third one that I threw in the water, and we didn't see any visible effect to it.
Try it. Where is he?
Which we may just not have noticed. We even tried putting it up by its head and shooting it, as well as putting it in front of the beam that it shoots out to see if it would explode the battery.
Let's go over here. Far one.
Yes, hi Bailey. I don't think that did anything. Surprisingly, its electric beam didn't injure me as much as I thought it would. I almost thought it would be like two hits to a kill, or even one hit shot. But I think I got hit a few times and actually survived pretty decently. Like that. Well, that was close. But overall, this really was a lot of fun. This is where we're going to try and, I think, put it in front of the beam that it shoots. Come on, fire at me.
Or shoot at it while it's, you know, when it's firing with its electric stuff or whatever.
We tried putting the battery near its head and shooting it too, and it just didn't seem to do much. See, it's just floating in the water there by him. Because we even tried to shoot it after it was in the water, and it didn't seem to have any effect on him. Shooting the battery in the water, it didn't do anything.
Yeah, I tried that.
The rocks will only give you temporary cover too, because eventually if the rocks that you can hide behind take enough hits, they crumble. But hitting the glowing spots on him seems to be definitely one part of it. Is you want to make sure that you hit any of the electrical spots that show up on his body. Yeah, that one I put practically in his mouth. Well, that didn't work. Well, it'd be helpful if I put in 1080p. The fight is actually in the Onyx facilities when you're going towards Site B and you go down that railway. And there's a left and a right hand side. On the second railway, there's a break on the left hand side in the railing, and you jump down into the cavern area there. So, actually, first railway, because it's after you take the big cargo elevator down to the lower area. And there's no mission that brings you here. We couldn't find any mission tied to it. You just had to go there. I don't think that did anything. Demon, thank you very much for the subscribe. Appreciate that.
Now, are you sure this wasn't Disney's test site for their next theme park ride, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It's not as stunning visually to see like the 40-foot Valacar come out, but this thing was a blast to do. And there's actually more in that cave that we didn't get to explore, and you'll see why here in a second. But some of the other guys were down there longer, and they noticed a few things, but didn't do much exploration.
Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead.
See if there's anything to loot off of.
The eyes, the tongue.
You didn't carry his tongue.
Yeah, so you can harvest the tongue and the eyes out of it.
Enabled it yet.
And apparently they're going to have Wicklow. They'll have Wicklow benefits. Somebody already took the tongue. What the hell?
I got it right here. How do you drop it?
I don't know if we got both eyes, but we at least got one of them. They did nothing. Yeah, you heard me complain about how it just deceiving because the batteries don't seem to have a purpose. Well, if you hold F. Can I store it?
I
will
Yes,
give
I
them
can
credit
store
for textures on the
Unstore it.
tongue. The textures look awesome.
So what's the point? So again, I still don't quite get what the batteries
and
are.
and I will
Unless they
warn
did
people,
something
be
and I
careful
didn't
how
realize
close
it.
you get to the edge of the pool.
I was shooting around with the game.
I mean, I went through a shit ton of magazines.
Yeah, I had like maybe 12 bullets left in my gun.
Look at this thing. This thing is freaking wicked looking.
Yeah, I went through 1,200 rounds.
Oh,
And
shit,
that's
I fell.
why.
I'm in the water. I'm dead.
That is why you don't get too close to the
I
edge.
lost my tongue.
So you do not want to go too close to the edge of that water. That is for sure. But it was a blast doing that. And again, you don't have any mission that takes you there or anything like that. You just go down to the Onyx facilities and head over to Site B, take the large cargo elevator down, then take the left side. Now, if the doors aren't open on the left and the right walkways, you have to take the tram across, and there are breaks in the opening, or you can clamber up on top of some boxes and jump down into that region. And then you'll have to take out several of the ads that are on the superstructures down the way, as well as the ones flooding the area from the end of the tramway. And then there'll be a break in the handrail that allows you to go down into the cavern to the left. But be forewarned, there is a massive hole down there that is like a drilling hole or something, but if you fall in there, there is no way out other than to have somebody in-cap you and tractor beam you out, because the downfall is that when you're in those Onyx facilities, if you're taken out by the environment, the NPCs or anything like that, you'll automatically wake up in the medical center back in the lobby. But if you backspace, you end up going back to your home base, your home world, because even if you have a ship in the hangar with a med bed, it will not put you in that hangar. It automatically kicks you all the way back to Area 18 or Hurston or wherever you started out at. Spectre, what's going on? Great to see you. Congrats on the new job. But yeah, new jobs can definitely be draining as you're getting into them and getting used to them, so that's understandable. And we got about 7 minutes here. We'll catch some of the other videos that they show here before the lead up. Jared's already been on doing his communication tests and everything like that with Twitch and YouTube and everything. Of course, we are going to be viewing it on YouTube just because I have premium and hopefully I won't have to deal with ads like I do a lot of times on Twitch. But it's interesting. It'll be very interesting to see what they pack into these 2 hours. For the simple fact of usually this is spanned over 2 days. So, and probably anywhere from 5 to 7 hours per day. So, a lot of info that they need to pack in here.
Oh no, it's animated.
I wonder if Anicat has any relation to Gravity Cat. Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I do that. Yep, hit the button 50 million more times.
This feels normal.
I mean, that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty standard. So, usually we see tech demos, we see graphics, visual effects, sound updates, as well as new items coming in, new features coming down the line. I can't remember if I'm correct in thinking this, but I thought I saw a thing where they already stated they won't be really discussing Squadron 42 this year during Citizencon. But a lot of information that usually comes out. So it'll be interesting to see how they pack that down into just a 2-hour live broadcast and exactly how in-depth they're going to be able to get. There's rumors, obviously, every year we see some type of ship or straight to flyable, as well as new gameplay and everything. Of course, 4.3.2 has been in PTU, and it's open to all backers right now. we'll be doing some gameplay at about 6:30 this evening after Citizencon, and we get a chance to get some dinner with any new features that they do come out. But there's rumors of Isperia Stinger, which hasn't been confirmed. Obviously, everybody has been kind of speculating about information on Nyx. Information or possibly more. There's no verification on that. Again, it's all rumors, so you can only put so much into it. Let's see. You've been liking the Onyx missions, been stuck on the Sonic reading step. One where you snag the maid from the green ballroom. Either the server made blade never spawns, or when drop it in freight elevator to send it down, it doesn't come complete the mission. Round Dog Gib Stinger. Of course, we've also heard rumors about the Paladin. We've got people speculating about the Perseus, or at least some information on it, BMM, all those things. And usually, I mean, the ship panel alone in a regular Citizencon is like an hour and 20, an hour and 30 minutes. So, what do you guys think that we're probably going to see with this?
I would say that.
Go ahead.
I would say that some announcement on salvage, the reclaimer rework, and maybe even the RSI starter salvage ship.
Yeah, well, we already saw changes to the reclaimer too with 4.3.2.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that they improved the back elevator. We know that they also put a docking port on the back port side. I don't know if it's something.
One day.
Ron Dog, Nixon ships. Yeah, I would love to see more. What they showed last year with Nyx was amazing looking. Now, what were you going to say, H3?
I just want my one wheel that fits on my backpack.
You want your one wheel. J-Scale thinks it's going to be about 2 hour long Star Citizen Live. I mean, really, that's what it is boiling down to. But are we going to see anything that really super attention grabbing? That's going to be the big thing. Is it's either going to go one of two ways. It's going to be a 2 hour long SCL episode that people walk away with not feeling like they got a lot out of it, or they're going to have something because they know they're in a shortened form that is going to just blow people away. So I think those are about the two possibilities. We're going to leave it on the countdown here for 1 second. I'm going to check on the dogs real quick, and I will be right back.
Me, I'm expecting it to be Jared reciting his poetry for the next 2 hours.
As long as I get my one wheel, that's fine.
Well, this is all pre-recorded, right? There's no actual live footage during this thing?
Yeah.
I think the
2 hour gap.
Yeah, the segments are all pre-recorded, but I think there's probably most live chat.
Yeah, I know that they sent people around the different watch parties, so I imagine they could have live feeds from there, showing the people watching, just to break it up.
Yeah, I think they were doing one at the Alamo Draft tab.
Yeah, and Disco was on Live Voice at the when they first went to the 30-minute countdown, and he was asking for responses through Twitch and YouTube.
This year,
Here we
marks
go.
a turning point in Star Citizen's history. We have finally moved past the question of whether we can build an architecture to deliver a universe with incredible detail, so people can all play. Server meshing has been working pretty much flawlessly.
Okay, I don't know if I quite agree with that, but okay.
Verse with up to 700 players online and in the same space at once. It's greatly increased server performance and delivered a much more responsive player experience. I couldn't be prouder of the team. They delivered something no other online game does presently. There may be other games out there that claim large player counts or even the ability to mesh, but none do it at our detail, scale, and seamlessness. Of course, there will be continued improvements to server meshing and to Star Engine, but having moved past this last big technological hurdle has allowed us to finally focus on quality of life and stability improvements, something that has long been overdue. We're about to deliver our 9th patch in 10 months, with content that has brought Star Citizen storytelling into new and exciting directions. We pushed more than 24 features and more than 2,000 bug fixes. And while there is still a long way to go, the game has gotten more stable, performant, and fun as a result. We see this in player metrics. More of you play every day. The daily average users is up 45% from last year, and your play time is up 15%. So more people venture out into the verse and stay there longer than ever before. And through all that, we've told the dual stories of the Frontier Fighters Assault on
I think a
Pyro,
lot of that has
and
to
the
do
moral
with the fact that
compromises
his
being made to
stability
combat
has
the
improved
regain
greatly.
crisis. Now, as those stories come to a rest for the time being,
Could be.
it's time to look forward to the next chapter of Star
That
Citizen,
and
where
definitely
the
getting
instability
more
in Pyro
players.
and the callous actions of some pave the way to new adventures, new locations, and new threats. Last year, we announced our next star system would be Nyx, home to the People's
Nyx
Alliance of
is next
Levski
month.
and bordering the Vandal threat. Today, we're proud to share that your adventures in Nyx begin not next year, but next month, when Star Citizen's
Nice.
third system
New
comes
system month,
online
holy
in
crap.
Alpha 4.4. 2 new systems in 1 year. That's only possible because of the tireless work of our development teams, server meshing accelerating as possible,
Levski!
the support teams behind the scenes.
We get to go
and most
visit
importantly,
Canada
all
again.
of you. Now, I do miss
Yay.
that we're not all together under one roof this year, but in many ways, we're more connected than ever. Across the globe, many
They're
of you
so
are gathering
lawless,
at watch
but so
parties,
polite.
9 of them with our developers in attendance, and countless others springing up in communities everywhere, and all happening simultaneously today. So even if we're separated by oceans and continents, we're bound together by the same passion for space, for discovery, and for this incredible universe we're building together. Whether you're at home or alongside your crew at a watch party, grab a drink, sit back.
I can't remember
and let
which
us take you
gateway
inside our
goes to
up-and-coming
Nyx.
plans for the next year of Star Citizen.
I just wonder how many software engineers are panicking about right now.
Every single one of them is probably having a heart attack. But that'd be awesome because you saw the redesign of Nyx. It's now an asteroid versus an entire moon. And it's
That's
basically a big, what we're seeing here, a big hole through an asteroid. That is awesome. Get to
That'll
go
be my
back,
first experience.
get to go back to Teacher's Ship Shop. Grand Barter. Hopefully they kept Grand Barter in. What was that? Did anybody catch that silhouette?
Can't you only get the Nyx
With
through
the foundational
Pyro?
technology now in place,
I don't know.
The content development of the game is
Oh,
no
yeah, it's
longer
connected through Pyro.
restricted,
Okay.
allowing us to forge ahead with building out our first 5-star systems. Nyx will see the much-loved
Oh, you think that was the
Levski
Paladin?
Landing added back to the verse, while
Yeah.
also bringing you one of its most
Talking
iconic
about that very
landmarks,
angular
the
looking ship
Glacier.
that jumped across.
Here, you'll experience a new combined
Yeah.
arms operation that will introduce new factions and new adventures for you to discover. With this edition of our 3rd star system, we're also going to do something that's at the heart of the entire Star Citizen experience, and that is to build it right in front of you. As we have done this year, with the addition of several major
I thought you were going to say
such as
elevators
the
that don't
Hathor
kill.
facility or the Lazarus complex, we will continue to unveil new Nyx content throughout the year. It's a slightly different approach to how we deliver Pyro. but we feel this gets the content into your hands sooner and shows our intent as we continue our march towards 1.0. I'm so incredibly proud of the work our teams have done and are continuing to do, and we're excited to have you on this next step of our journey. And as with any journey in Star Citizen, that begins with a little story.
It was a ship in space. Oh yeah, Anro put up the map of how they're all connected. Thank you for that.
We introduced two major storylines.
In 2025, we introduced two major storylines spanning multiple patches, creating a living
Okay,
backbone
what am I
for
doing?
adventure across the universe.
Anro, turn your mic off.
The first was Pyramus Burn. It connected Stanton to Pyro and introduced the Frontier Fighters, who are relentless, brutal, and determined
Here,
to
I'll
wipe
put the
out
channel
any
back to push
threats
to talk.
that cross them. And with this month's release, you'll now take part in the conclusion to that storyline. The second was Science Run Amok, with the regen crisis throwing the Empire into chaos, and you all jumping in to help the various corporations respond.
Oh, it is on
Through that
push to
journey,
talk.
we pulled back the curtain on ASD and its shady practices, uncovering long-forgotten Onyx facilities, and met new characters like Dr. Logan Yorit and Detective Arkham Meller of the Hokro Agency. And just like the Pyramus Burn storyline carried us into a new system, Science Run Amok is now setting the stage.
Alright, now it's on push to talk.
The next step in the larger story we're telling on the road to 1.0. As this new chapter of Star Citizen begins, let's hear from just a few of the team members working to bring this next era of our universe to life.
So it means we're gonna get weekly Road to Nyx updates on new content coming once they launch it.
When the Nyx system was first discovered,
I
the
can't
United
say I
Empire
hate
of
that
the
ship
UE
anymore.
Came out and did scans and kind of found out that the system wasn't really reset. I mean, the planets were too hard to terraform, the resources were too tough to get, so they opened it up. And one company saw opportunity where the UE didn't, QV Planet Services. And so they
At least I don't hate the
expanded
medical
into the
version.
system and tried to mine as much as they could, making a very slim margin by the sheer quantity of resources they were pulling out.
I mean, that tells me we're gonna probably be looking at going
The
there to do the
system
majority
itself
of our mining,
sort of
possibly.
ran its course from sort of a large corporate interest
Nice.
perspective, and then was mostly left.
Maybe in the
Now,
Arrestor
this ended
eventually.
up being the
Be nice.
ideal situation for the people.
Or the Orion.
Who were a group of revolutionaries who were trying to overthrow.
Or we'll just
the
take our corp with
dictatorship
us.
of the Messer regime that was going on in the Empire at the time.
So they went to the Nyx system and established what became known as Levski. They wanted to make it everything that the UEE wasn't at this time.
They set up what they saw as their ideal society, where everyone's voices would be heard, where everyone would be equal. But they'd fallen onto hard times. So Nyx today is kind of at an interesting point in its history. Now that the
Ape
UE
stronger
has kind of
together.
transformed itself into a democratic society, what is their role? What are the People's Alliance rebelling against? And they still see the Empire as being inherently unfair. They see their role as still trying to create a free and fair society. But on the other hand, they have more problems than ever, and there's new threats lurking around every corner. And they have to ask, are they prepared to handle that? Or do they need to turn to the UE for help?
I know, I'm excited about going back to Levski. That was the main place I
Making Star
based
System
out
is
of when I first got in.
You approach it from kind of two angles in a weird way.
was fun.
What is this system bringing to the gallery? How does this new system plug into it, and what does it bring to the table from a sort of a flavor experience? We want to
I mean,
make sure
technically
that
it
whatever
is
it's bringing to
a
the
pirate
the
haven,
company
so it is going to
unique
be
and has
maybe
some-
not a
some
lawless system, but you know,
So the
Levski
Nyx
was
system
always
is
a place you could
remote
land if you had a
system
crime
where
stat.
People want to go and live free
Yeah, but
outside
it's more
of the
outlaw,
pressure
less
and
law-led.
influence of the
Yeah.
UEE. It's a remote and rugged system with a
Kinda
lot
like
of
the Wild
hostility
Wild
coming
West.
from the ever-present threat of Vandal.
It's kind of like a frontier-esque thing. It's not lawless like Pyro, it's just kind of out there. Pyro's more like a Mad Max wasteland, and Nyx is more like Silverado or like like Deadwood, right? It's kind of
There
like
we
a
go. There's
smaller
the same
scale.
analogy.
The emptiness and the loneliness is the defining factor. You're still going to find gangs, you're still going to find hostile presences, but it's where people go if they want to live off the grid.
The People's Alliance is the main peacekeeping force in Nyx.
They were unhappy with the direction that the Empire was going under the Messers. They got out. They said, we're just going to start from scratch, build our own society, but build it the way that we think it needs to be built.
Hey, as long as
They're
I
not
can buy
perfect.
bullets there.
They're just people, but they're doing their best. They want to help keep Nyx safe and make it prosper.
They are trying to do the best that they can, but are faced with the reality
Stupid
of dealing
people.
with people,
Oh.
which is
Van Duel threat. Yeah, I mean, that's something else that's been speculated. We're going to find out
Pirate
a
Star
lot
is
about
quite
the
a
Van
warm
Duel
star.
here during this.
Stanton Star is quite
And obviously
neutral.
with the Onyx missions, that's something
Nyx is
that's
a little bit cooler.
now come to fruition with the
The
creature that
system
you have to
has the
exterminate
star,
in
and it has
Onyx.
This dark, really, really dense gas, sort of nebulous cloud. And it has points of light scattered around it, and those points of light in this gas cloud
1,000
is
points of light.
really, really hazy. So because Nyx is bordering Vandal space, it was important that we have a gap in the Nyx gas cloud where you could sort of just, in between the clouds, see a piece of the Vandal space. It feels so close that it's even like protruding some red light. The level designers are using it as an actual visual indicator of where to place more dangerous POIs. So if you point your ship in the direction of it, you should find, as we build it out, that you will be in more and more danger. And I think that's really cool. To give more atmosphere, I was testing out adding some sort of space snowflakes, essentially. So when you look
Space
towards the
snowflakes.
sun, you can sort of see that sort of like
Those space
sparkle.
mites are just everywhere.
But then when you look away from the sun, you'll see the reflections and sort of like little glints of light. For the jump points in Nyx, we'll have 2 on this release. We'll have one from Pyre to Nyx and one from Stanton to Nyx. It should be going from
Oh, so you're gonna be
Nyx
able to get to
Castra,
Nyx
but we're essentially bypassing
from either one.
Castra temporarily.
Yeah, I think
Hey,
that's
we want to make sure you can get there.
Yeah, because they don't have Castra in yet.
Galatian Belt is
in
a
sort of
huge
the middle
asteroid
of the
belt
system.
that
Your mic stuck on again,
in the
Enno.
middle of the system.
Oh, dang it.
Galatian Belt is a combination of a bunch of technologies that we already had. The asteroid fields we use for planetary rings and the gas clouds, and it's combining them to make
You know,
something
the only downfall is
completely
that's
new
more
that we've
rocks
just
I
not
can
seen
run
before.
into.
I was gonna say, look at all those new rocks you can just visit.
Harvested because it's kind of a tricky spot for mining. It's not the easiest place.
Have
to
a
mine. That
contest
means
where
that
you
there's
can name
still
an
a lot of
asteroid in the Nyx
opportunity for
Nyx
independent
system.
miners to go out there.
Mm-hmm.
So the rocks in Nyx are a bit more sharp, like sorts of like icy look, rocky, cliff-like, very different from those in the Pyro and the Stanton.
One of the big differences too is all of that extra added movement that
Or-
just
or
adds
claimant.
a little bit of extra flair.
Yeah.
It's also a good hiding spot for people who are trying to elude capture, maybe set up ambushes, that type of stuff.
Always feel way more interesting flying in those spaces than just.
Can I
you know,
can
empty
I
void.
pledge to have an
And as we
asteroid
build out
system
the
named
Glacier
after
Belt
me?
next year, lots of places to put new content.
After your millionth crash, yes.
Delmar is a very large asteroid in the Glacian Belt that QV Planet Services had built a mining base on that got taken over by the People's Alliance and renamed Levski.
Damn, that looks good.
Levski is our first and biggest social outpost for Nyx.
It's
That-
kinda
that
like the
cloud
place where
around
you
it just-
stop before you do your panning.
Almost eerie looking.
So it's kind of a San Francisco before you go out to the gold rush.
It's going to be the central hub for
100K.
trade,
Yeah, you can pay 100K to have a
all of the commerce within Nyx, and also from Nyx
asteroid
to
system
other
named after
systems.
you.
But it does have a CD underlayer to it.
Over the years, you're sort of improving the generation method of those.
Yeah, it really
asteroids
looks amazing.
to
Yeah, it
culminate
does.
towards this specific point to make large, explorable.
I will
location.
say I always enjoy like parking the 890 at the bottom of the
When you
hole
fly
at Levski, and we're not going to have
you
that
see this
anymore.
huge gas ring around it, scattered small, mid-sized pieces of the asteroids.
Well, Levski's immediately apparently unique by the fact that it's a facility clamped onto the side of an asteroid. The breathtaking views of looking into the belt instantly gives it a unique charm and flavor.
But when Delamar was
As you
originally
approach,
in, Levski
you'll
was the only point of
initially see a
interest. There
very
were
dramatic
no other points of
porthole
interest
that
on
goes
there,
all the way
that
through the asteroid.
surface.
You will also see growing out from there and alongside.
Oh, that's like a large-sized
be
pad there.
landing
Oh, they
pads
got a
along
reclaimer-sized
what is called the
pad.
spine.
Yeah,
Lots
Ron Dog,
of
the 890 fit
industrial
perfectly down
pipes
there.
and
You had
transport
more than
systems
enough
to
room.
bring out the refined
Look at all that
material
parking
to what
space.
was a mining station.
Just to see a pad
Before,
that's
we
built
were
for the
using an
reclaimer,
actual
though.
planet, so we had all of the space available to place all of these structures. But now it kind of meant that we had to create an asteroid which has the appropriate size to.
If we took the whole shot,
You
of
know
the
we're going to be
asteroid,
like
you
making attempts
will
at
see
speed runs through that hole.
there is an area to fly
Mhm.
underneath.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a race course.
We plan on bringing in Hull C gameplay.
Oh,
So
of
this
course
is
it's going to be a
exterior,
race car. Anzio
cargo
or
elevators.
Atmo or
So
somebody will
as a team,
turn it into
you will
one.
be able to
They
load
all will,
and
I'm
move
sure.
cargo.
And there's the cargo
lot
for
more
the whole
movement
sea
on
and
the
all that
exterior,
they showed last year.
Such as the cargo
Cargo
trains
rams.
going around tracks. It's now going to be fully EVA-able. There will be walkways around the main landing zone to walk on using gravity plates, but you can drift off and kind of go wherever you want. They can explore fully the whole place, which is great.
Interesting. Which means there's going to be probably some small cave or something with some kind of Easter egg in
Unlike
it.
the majority of anarchists living
sure
in
hope so.
Pyro, there are people here in Nix that care.
It's not a downtrodden or derelict, dilapidated location. It has a sense of order.
Haze and
But
Dust can't
only
wait, yeah.
where the People's Alliance has people living.
But we've had Livsky before, and we've updated it quite substantially.
I really hope they didn't change the
more,
ATC voice.
in line with the newer features that have been put in since.
There's been leaks that
but also
all
visually,
landing zones will have its
there's
own
been a lot of
landing
quality of
voice.
life fixes that we've
Yeah,
wanted
but the
to
one
add
for
and-
Levski was
and-
always
and
unique.
bring up to like a good standard for a landing zone.
Gracing the main lobby of Levski
That
is a
the
large
voice that
statue
you
of
get over the
Anthony
radio was the whole
Tanaka,
reason
who
why
was
I
a
referred to
child
it as
Yeah, it was
Canada
being worked to death.
SC
All of
because
them
it
were,
just
and Anthony Tanaka
you know,
just had a
the-
break and just said no.
you just
and
expected
stood
to
up
hear an
against
A at the
foremen,
end of
supervisors,
everything.
the managers, the
I
guards,
can't.
and was killed for it. And so he became a sort of a figurehead.
and kind of was one of
Now
the
they kept the
linchpin moments
statue
in
at
seeing
least.
the fall of the Messer.
It actually looks like that pretty well closely resembles what the
So
original
if you take
Levski
the
was.
elevator up to the top deck, you'll see the top view and the cargo area as well. So you can go through the cargo shop. You've got your normal kind of cargo needs. You'll have ability to trade and buy your tractor beam and other gear that you need. So if you were to die in the Nix system, then one of the places you might come out from is the hospital in Levski, which is called the Mercy Hospital.
So Mercy Hospital is just basically, it's a local med station for all the residents of Levski, anybody traveling through the system. Again, they're trying to provide
It's a
as good
CVS
medical
Minute Clinic.
help for people as they can.
When you
I would
arrive
feel
at
better
the,
getting treated there than at
location,
Grim
you'll be
Hex.
presented with a lobby, elevator bank, and then you will take that
Probably.
to the
Okay, that
cab
rat
room.
has spikes on its back.
Spiky rat.
So within that room will be pods.
And that's where the original miners would have lived. They're not the nicest, and they're a bit messy, but they're a home for people in Levski. If you head down to the lower view deck, you'll go through into the Grand Barter, which is your main social and commercial
That-
This
that
is
still
where
looks
you will
the
see
same.
market sellers selling their wares. There will be stalls. There will be kind of more embedded shops.
And
That-
includes
that
things
looks
like
almost
Cordries, which is your
identical
armor shop,
to what it
and
originally
also
was.
conscientious objects, which is for weapons. There's also one of my favourite places, Cafe Musée, which is where you can go down into some of the more rocky depths and grab yourself a drink, and you never know who you meet down there.
So there'll be a mission
If you
giver
explore
down
a bit
there.
more around the Grand Barter, there's other routes around and little side passages. There's another shop that's away from that area called Teachers.
Teacher Ship Shop is basically where you would go if you were looking to
They
pick up a
really
new
didn't
ship,
change
buy some
much.
ship parts, fix up your old ship, find some new stuff, sell some scrap.
The only thing I
It was
didn't see there in
closed up
Teachers
Compass
was
Depot
the
for
caterpillar they used to
Levski,
have there.
and everything that used to be sold there.
I'm sure it's
will now be
hiding.
sold at Teachers. Another new area, as well as the cargo shop that we've added, is the
And me,
refinery
Rhonda,
deck.
we'll find you at Grand
That's
Barter
where
in
you
the
can
bar.
take your processed goods
Refinery
from
shop
Levski,
at the
but
cities.
some
Yeah.
of the rest of the Nick system, and refine and sell those goods there.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's going
As
to
a lot
be
of the
like a whole
content
mining
in
area, it
the
makes
next
sense
coming
that it would
releases
also
for
be a
Nix
refinery.
is going to be mining related. So it's super important that Levski is a really nice hub for mining type of gameplay. So we're really happy to bring Levski back into the game. It's been
Yeah,
gone for
left
quite a
right
few
before
years
I
now.
I
joined.
think it really provided.
Oh, you
a
missed
unique
out.
Environment of.
Like I said, I mean, I used to just
run
base
down,
myself out of there
but the people who
because
live there love
it
it,
was
are working
just
their hardest to make
easy
it a
running
great
everything
place to
out of there
live.
because it was over by
This is a
Arkel 3.
location that has a lot
Just
of
out in the
nostalgia
outer
for you
ring.
guys, and we don't want this just to be
No Atmo to escape's gonna make it really nice.
wow.
It's not going to be as Pyro as it first came out.
I mean, that's going to be the big
but it's
question.
gonna
Is it
our
going to be
first
a
iteration, and you're going to be
an
able to see
option
it grow
for
as we work on it.
basing
Like
your
with everything, we're
yourself
always
out of?
learning and improving and finding new ways.
I mean, is there anything more Star Citizen?
My
than
guess is
just
yes.
Building the system
It would
while
make
the players
sense.
watch us build it around them.
Going to add a nice dynamic to Stanton and be a much more calming of style system than Pyro.
The people that would have played it before are going to love to see this come back, and the people that haven't seen it before, it's going to be a great new location.
This is the first time that I'm going to be able to touch stuff. and
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
bring my own
dangerous laying there
content to the
because there
game.
was no
That's really
atmosphere to
exciting.
slow you down.
Levski coming back into the game is a
Yeah.
huge milestone personally for me. So I worked on the original. Quite
I
some
will
time
say the
ago,
one thing I will
so
miss
seeing it
was
come back
Levski
and
was one of the
updated
few
and
places
improved
that was
and better
easy to get in
was
and out of to
fantastic.
load ground vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And now we won't have that ground vehicle aspect there, but I mean, that's easy to get around with, everywhere else you can spawn them now.
Well, eventually we'll just be able to pull them up in the cargo deck.
Yeah.
So we've talked about Levski, we've talked about the Glazing Belt, but you're probably asking yourself, what's the new gameplay activity we're going to be doing? So let's find out.
Welcome to Nix is your first experience in a new space station in a new solar system.
It's a mystery to be solved. There's things for the player to explore and look into. There's going to be some twists and turns, of course, some combat, and if you're lucky enough to survive, maybe some good rewards.
This is basically a continuation of kind of our ASD storyline. So in the closing out what we had called our Science Run Amok storyline, we had revealed that ASD had been procuring sort of very black market illegal stuff in order to conduct their experiments. So this mission is basically going to be continuing on that trail.
So the Navy has learned that illegal tech is being sold in the UAE, and they're hiring Intersect to investigate. Intersect Defense Solutions is the leading military defense contractor in the UAE. So the Navy contracts with them a lot for doing various kind of military operations that they don't want to handle themselves. We didn't want players to be working directly for the Navy. The Navy just doesn't call up random citizens and ask like, hey, if you're free, can you fly a helicopter? I guess as a player, when you can think about like, oh, where am I going to be doing missions that are capital ship battles or large fleet scale stuff or military operations, that's all going to come from Intersect Defense Solutions.
Vanguard.
Intersect have discovered the source of the illegal tech is in the Nix system and an old abandoned QV Planet Services logistics station that's come back online.
So they want the players to figure out what's going on.
That sounds interesting.
So when you come out of Quantum and you start your approach vector to the objective, you'll be weaving through asteroids, going through the Glazing Belt, and slowly the station will reveal itself. Now this
That
is an
looks
old
awesome.
QV logistics station.
Mhm.
It's pretty beat up, it's pretty derelict, but there's some points of
I
interest.
mean, it looks
that
like
you'll
something
spot
out of
as you go
Pyro,
through.
but
So the station itself shares
the
design cues
just
from
the
old Pan Am
lighting and all
stations
that
found in Pyro.
definitely
This architectural
differentiates
design
it.
found its way over
Yes.
the mix system as the system was being established. But you'll also see some additional design cues that QV planetary services were adding. So it's a nice transition architectural point. It's fairly skeletal in design. You'll see logistics yards and cargo yards, but also facilities pinned inside the asteroid, creating this network of facilities. You'll notice there's a Polaris near the main hub. It's not a normal Polaris. It's damaged, it's broken. It's not a standard corporate Polaris. So at this point,
pirate
you should be asking
Polaris.
yourself, who does this belong to?
I
Away
feel like
from
we
the
just need to
Polaris,
fix
you'll
it
see
up and
space
borrow
leading
it
to
for a while.
asteroid bases. Now, these asteroid
Right.
bases are
I
locked,
agree with this
so
course
we
of
don't
action.
know exactly what's inside just yet. But all of this comes together to form the playground for the mission to
Oh,
take
shit.
place. So not only is this facility
I think I'm
shit.
ahead of you guys.
but it's also under attack from a surprising but familiar foe.
It's the bears with grenades. I just know it. Oh.
That looks bigger.
That is one of the new Van Duel designs.
Ooh.
Is that the new glaive?
Kind of looks that way.
For the first time in the
Well, no, the
PU,
one on the right, bottom right, was a glaive. What is that one?
Is that the heavy fighter?
That might be the
So
heavy
Van
fighter
Duel
because
are
the other
a
dual wing
nomadic,
is the
very,
glaive.
very,
That's the
very
glaive right
violent
there.
Spacefaring race.
They've been striking out against outposts and such in the Nix system. They don't really know what they want, don't know why they're doing it. but
Rondo,
it seems
gib,
like
gib,
whoever's running the
stinger.
station is really pissing
If
them off.
it could be.
Vandal raiding parties have been arriving in the system, and they're unaffiliated to any.
Because you gotta remember, all those ships got
Small groups
redesigned for
coming
Squadron
in,
42, and they said that none of the new
as time
designs
goes
would
on,
be for
those
the glaive,
raids
the blade, or
get
the
bigger
scythe be released
and more
until
frequent.
Squadron
That'd be the
42
signs that
came
you're
out. It
familiar
is
with.
the Stinger, okay.
Glaives and blades that we all know and hate, and a new craft for the PU, the
Yep.
Vandal Stinger.
The Stinger. And it looks like they
be contacted
use the
by
new
some
design
civilians on
aesthetic for
arrival
the
asking
Stinger.
for help.
So at this point, you have a choice. You can either bug out, mission over, or join the fight.
Ooh.
This will be the first time
Polaris
since the
belongs
PU
to Dread
launched that
Pirate
you'll be able
Roberts.
to fight against Van Duel aggressor ships.
Looks
This
weak.
fight will be intense.
That's the one
Players
downfall I have with a
should
lot
be
of
able to
alien
deal with
ships
them,
is
but, they will have to be prepared.
I have
They'll
the
have to come
glaive, I
back
have
in
the
to fight
blade,
off this initial wave,
I have the
and
Bandu
that will be the
Defender.
end of it.
It just sometimes they feel a little
After you
bit
fight off the Van Duel ships, the mysterious
a
inhabitants
little bit
of the
less
station
than what they should
invite you to
be.
come on board.
Which
But that
Insect
Stinger looks
will
nice.
encourage you to do because it'll help further their investigation against what's happening.
Just
here,
give
why
us
these
proper
ships are
landing gear on these things.
You dock your ship, you board the station, and it turns out the inhabitants here
Man,
have
I
a
am
real
so
surprise
excited
for
for this.
Are we going to be fighting Van Duels?
The player will be immediately
Sounds like they're heading it.
ambushed. These guys are not your friends.
Of course, it's not going to be easy because the people that are inhabiting the station are going to fight you every step of the way.
The
Nope.
fight will be challenging, but this definitely will be the warm-up phase of this mission. This will be
If it has
the,
a bet on
players
it, you're
a
getting
sense
it,
of,
Ron Dog.
What exactly is going on there? Who these new
I have a
people
feeling
are.
the
They'll be in
Stinger-
unfamiliar armor. They will be wielding
I don't know.
unfamiliar weapons.
I mean, it's big enough it may.
And we want you to get a sense that you are in a new place, in a new territory, fighting. a
As they
new
invite you in,
faction.
immediately attack you, lazy.
So after you survive this initial ambush,
No,
you
I'm
get
sure
back
they
in touch
just
with
figure
Intercept,
anybody stupid
and
enough
obviously the
deserves
question
to get shot.
who are these people? Why are they attacking? Why are the Vandal attacking them?
At this point, there's more going on here than anyone thought. The directive from Intersect is to explore the station and collect as much information as you possibly can.
Along the way, you're going to get.
It
to
looks like it
explore
could
certain
have an
areas.
interior, but then
It's not
again,
just the space station.
to some degree, the
disabled
Ares
capital ship.
at first looked like it could have an
asteroid bases
interior and
nearby
it didn't.
with obvious
But I mean, if
installations
it's going to
there,
be
other
on the
forces like the
scope
Vandal
of the
have been
Vanguard and
attacking.
all that, I mean,
There's
it
a
would make
debris
sense.
field.
explore the locations in any order you want and try to find out who these
And the
people
Banu
are
Defender
and
has a
what
bed,
Vanduul
so
are
it's very,
You'll
very
find new
possible.
clues, you'll find ways to solve the puzzle of what's going on at the space station, and
We know why
find
the
out
Vanduul
what
are
kind of loot they
attacking. They
have
said it's
for you,
related to the
now
ASD.
that you've
Yes,
beaten
very true.
And of course, this is a legally open station, so anything you find is yours to keep and sell, maybe even give to Wicklow.
Everything comes down to trading to Wicklow. Let me
This
check
isn't
the
just a
dogs.
one-time event. This is a permanent sort of mission that we're going to be adding to the game.
You can go back and repeat this mission and find ways to do it even better, even faster.
There'll be a different story and different flavor. Obviously, we can't have the same thing happen every time. There'll be other missions that Intersect will offer to you based on the evidence that you found.
now you know the real story, and you can start digging and giving more information to Intersect along the way.
Yeah, that definitely looks like it's going to probably have some type
I'm
of
super excited
interior.
to finally see the Vanduul in the PU.
I'm excited to bring cool Vanduul ship combat to SC.
Players in the PU will now get to face down these awesome ships and get a taste of like we already have it in Arena Commander where you get to fight the Vanduul Swarm, and being able to do that in the PU
The
is
Vanduul
gonna
Swarm
be
in Arena Commander
a
is
heck of a
not
lot of
difficult,
fun.
though. But yeah, I would not. That's got to have
This
an
marks
interior.
a great milestone for us for not only pushing hard and adding great content this year, we're also being able to introduce the next star system and introducing the next landscape to tell new stories and add new gameplay beats into the ever-expanding universe. So we'll leave 4.4 there. If you're at one of the watch parties, please raise a toast to the great
4.4.
work that all the teams have been doing this year. And I'll be right back in just a few minutes to look ahead at some of the things coming in 2026.
Hello,
Yeah,
everyone.
this is the live part.
And welcome to the Voyager Bar in beautiful scenic Orizon, where the staff of Cloud Imperium Games Manchester is gathered for their very own Citizencon Direct watch party.
Where's that at?
As the
Manchester?
dozens of such events happening at
That would
locations
be a
around the
good
world,
guess.
we've gathered today to watch this sneak peek at just a little of what the next year of Star Citizen has in store for everyone. Oh, that was really good, everybody. I'm Jared Huckabee, your host for the festivities and for the show today. And let me tell you, it's not a joke. It's not a gag. Next week, we're hitting our 9th patch in 10 months. And then in November, we're going to finish out the year strong with the long-awaited arrival of the Nix system. And in case you missed it because you were chatting with friends, hi. It's not the lawless wasteland of Pyro many folks have been speculating, but an independent system with its own set of rules and
Ron
laws
Dog,
and
oh my
multiple
God, I'm
ways
in
to
love.
get there. It's an exciting time
I'm
for
assuming you're
everyone at
talking
Cloud
about the
Imperium
Stinger,
Games
not
because
Jared.
As the architects of our persistent universe said at the start of the show, the foundational tech that we've been building for so many years has now unlocked us to bring
Give
more to
red and
Star
black
Citizen
armor.
than ever before as we continue our journey towards 1.0. Now, before we continue with the show, let's get a few housekeeping tasks out of the way. First, we're simulcast on YouTube and Twitch. So if you want the keen communities of Twitch or the 4K ultra high resolution of YouTube, you have your choice. Second, throughout the broadcast today, we want to see and hear what you have to say along the way, and you can tell us on social media by using #Citizencon. We're especially
It will be
interested
interesting
to see
though,
any
because
photos from those watch
technically
parties that are happening
we
across the
shouldn't
globe,
fit
and we're gonna
in
find some
Vanduul
way to
armor, right?
bring a few of them into the broadcast
I wouldn't
later
think
in the
so.
program.
So we wouldn't be able to loot it
Also
anyway.
had a Citizencon contest going.
Oh, I'm sure we can
People
turn it
made
into
their very
something.
own slice of life in the PU videos, and we played the winning entries during our pre-show countdown. The offerings were super varied. The idea was to work with a team to show the life of a miner or a hauler or a bounty hunter or whatever. But one guy just said, I'm going to make a video about how awesome I am. And I respect that. So shout out Nocturnal Revenant. I don't remember if you were one of the winners getting an L21 Wolf from Kruger for their efforts, but you won the coveted Disco Lando Complete Narcissist Award. And to all the winners, I'm sure someone will either be in touch with you about your wolves or they'll just show up on your accounts. I really don't know how that process works. Probably would have been good to find out before the show, huh? I'm so afraid. Either way, if you missed the pre-show and are curious if you won, you can check the replay after we're done here today. All right. I just realized that my bosses, Chris and Sandy, are sitting in a movie theater watch party in Switzerland right now. A completely captive audience. So real behind the scenes here. This is especially torturous for Chris right now because he's super excited about the next segment we've got coming up. Aren't you, Chris? And you're just
trolling.
Right now,
He's
forced
trolling.
to watch and listen to anything I say. Do either of you regret that decision so long ago? All right, so I've probably pushed my luck enough. Let's get to the next thing. When Nyx arrives next month, it'll have Levski, the Glacium Belt, and the new Welcome to Nyx operation we just discussed. But throughout 2026, we'll also continue to build the star system out with new features and new technologies that will not only set Nyx apart and give it a unique identity from its sibling star systems, but continue to set Star Citizen apart from other video games altogether. Now at this point, if you're running one of the watch parties, you're gonna wanna crank your speakers up for some brand new music from the Maestro Pedro himself, and let's take a look at some of what the next year has to offer for the Nyx system.
I will say the music has gotten better and better with all the new stuff that they keep introducing.
At Cloud Imperium Games, we believe art inspires the best technology. And through the development
I mean,
of
even
that
just the music going through the
pushes
Pyro
us
Gateway
to create
is
even
awesome.
better. When Genesis comes to the persistent universe starting next year,
What do I
it
think
will
for the
change
Stinger
how
500? You know, it's
everywhere.
hard to say because
And not
if they
just in
base
the
it
building
around
of
the
new planets
Vanguards and
for
all
the
that,
next system.
maybe
We will
350.
also go back through Stanton and Pyro and reimagine
That would
them
be
through the lens of
maybe
our
my
technology.
guess. I mean, it is a heavy
Previously,
fighter.
And more traditionally, we'd create slices of biomes, like deserts or forests. This approach moved us forwards and got us this far, but solving the scale was always tricky.
I mean, I could definitely
Star
see,
Citizen,
depending on its size,
we
because
like
I
to
don't
do
know what
scale
the
on another level.
specifications
Issues
of it
like
are.
seam tiling from
I would
hot
say
maps,
somewhere between
tile
3 and
texture,
4.
Or the unpredictable blending when
But the
two
glaive is
bodies
350.
connect.
Yeah, but the glaive is 350, and it was something that you had to, at one point, achieve a
Our worlds
special
were gorgeous.
tag to get.
To us, they still sometimes felt like interpretations. Now this was a super hard problem, which we needed to solve at the scale the Star System requires.
And
We
size-wise, it
challenged
is definitely bigger than the
to
glaive.
emulate nature in the most
I
believable
could definitely see 400. I mean, if you look at the Banu Defender also, though, I mean, as a guideline, a 2-seater heavy fighter, what was that going for, like 220, 225? So, I mean, the
New
alien
planet.
ships are kind of
Make
like
a
all over
complete
the place.
paradigm shift to how we do things. Biomes are now created based
That's
on
amazing.
physical
That
datasets.
looks gorgeous. Bailey, you're
With
fine.
the
You just
assets
came
being
inside.
spawned whenever and wherever the correct criteria is found.
That looks beautiful.
So when you see a forest or a meadow, it's no longer because an artist painstakingly crafted it there. It's now because it simply wants to be there. It fits inside our rules.
What they don't tell you is that is the first level of
Genesis
the
also
Peak-inspired
ties into
minigame
our
inside
other
Star
gameplay
Citizen.
systems.
Oh, God.
New planets are built from the information we create for our different datasets,
Holy
like
cow.
height maps, humidity, temperature, soil type, soil amounts, geology erosion data.
Look at those
Maybe-
textures.
I know, they're freaking
This
absolutely
means you can now
gorgeous.
tell where to find valuable
And all those rocks we have to avoid while driving.
be suitable for it.
I'll find them all.
Where scree piles exist below sheer
You
cliff
think they
faces,
put in the
and
8K
where
textures
rocks
they
have broken off
supposedly
over
had all
time
these
due to
years?
erosion.
I don't know.
Of course, these new tools still give us the ability to direct the look and feel we want. The attention
Because
to
that
detail
is
from
like
the tallest
stunning.
mountain to
Right
the
there.
smallest flower is still our core DNA.
That might
Yeah.
be where my
With
getaway
Genesis,
cabin gets put.
We can now keep
It is absolutely gorgeous,
as
Ron
we
Dog.
focus on the quality, and it provides the quantity.
I mean, I thought they
Genesis
knocked it out of the
provides our
park
planets
when they were
with
showing
ultimate sense of exploration
environments for
and adventure.
Pyro, but
Discovery
holy
in the
cow.
purest emotional form. We want you to find that perfect place.
I mean, that
with the
that
planets
should
providing an
go out to
abundant
all the
resource to
trolls
harvest.
that call it a scam.
This
Like,
is a
that's
major
where the
part
money's
of
going.
what
Like,
exploration
look at what
is
they're
for us.
creating, you know? It's
We want
amazing.
that feeling of finding a
Yeah, I
corner
mean,
of the
as far as like the videos and the
and where you want to
content
settle down,
creators that
build your
pushed
home.
it as being a scam and all that, you know, for the most part, those have all dwindled off
Now
over
I'm
the
gonna
last
hand you
couple
over to
years.
Will to go deeper into what we have built that allows
I think
Genesis to realize.
They've been more than proving that
As
it's
a
not a
reminder,
scam
some of
for
the
several
visuals you'll
years.
see will evolve and change as we continue our technological development and
But
hone in
this is,
on the
I mean,
final
this
look
is
for
like
Nyx.
movie quality.
Thanks, Ian. So, in case it's not already clear, Genesis is our name for a group of technologies that are improving our ability to build worlds, refining those that we've already created.
I mean, I remember
and
when the big
ultimately
news was
expanding our
Planet
persistent
Tech
universe to
V4.
the scale and quality that we all expect. I work on Planet Tech.
Yeah, it's
so
basically
let's
like
talk about
an
how
early
that's
warning
continued
to
evolve
start
since
on
our
your new
presentation
computer,
last year.
right?
Instead of
God.
just highlighting some really cool
When's the
biomes that we
6090 coming
can
out?
create, let's go ahead and show how all this work applies to the
Let me
upcoming
get a
planets
3,000
in
watt
Nyx.
power supply now.
So there are 3 planets in Nyx. Nyx 3
Dedicated
is a
generator.
gas giant,
Yeah.
and I think it's blue. It's not going to surface. I don't really know. Nyx 2 is a yellow, toxic. It's got this high pressure
like we don't have
atmosphere,
enough
and it's
yellow
like a
planets
very
with
volatile
Aberdeen and
planet
Ariel.
with high risk reward gameplay.
Really Ron Dog, that
biomes
depends
to
on what they
discover,
announced
but
today as to
for
whether they
now,
push the
just know
patch to
it's gonna
live
be
today or not.
dangerous, because today
If
we're gonna
they don't
focus
push
on
anything
what
new
we
to
consider to
live,
be
then
the
we'll
hero
probably go
planet
into
of
PTU.
this system.
J Scale thought he was talking about WoW.
Nyx 1 has got
Now, I will say most of this improvement is the
a
lighting.
diverse set of biomes, from weathered rocky mountain ranges to vast sweeping forests and grasslands. And from damp expansive wetlands
All I have
to
to say-
claustrophobic festering swamps.
I was going to say foliage density
These core
is definitely
bioconcepts
increased, which they were
expand
showing
past
last
the
year
problem
that they were going to do.
of our technology. In some cases, because the current tech couldn't do them at all, or because we want to completely step up our game for them.
Bailey's mad I'm watching
So,
videos.
let's approach this planet in much the same way that you, the player,
Come here,
will,
you can say hello.
from orbit. The orbit appearance of the planets going forward is far more tied to what is present on the surface. Previously, we had different data that drove the orbital and ground coloring. That's because the orbit was designed to look like vegetation that we'd place on the surface, and the ground coloring was trying to be a mix of soil, rock, and the organic compound coloring that forms the kind of colors there. Now we author much more of the data in a unified way. When you look at Earth, you see blues and greens for ocean and vegetation, and brown or yellowy tones for sand and soil. We wanted to keep it as simple as that. The same set of textures and data that define the color of the soil,
Haley,
sand,
your
and
dinner
rock
is
on the
still 2
ground
hours away.
are used to create the orbital look. We then assess the presence of vegetation and competition between
Yeah,
different species.
Bailey's got to
and
get her
plant
moment
plan,
in.
and use that to blend
Uh-huh.
variations of green.
Baxter took her pillow.
Including variations due to
Of course.
species health and the current season. This creates a far more complete image and allows you to identify features, geologies,
Yeah,
and
with Nyx
potential
coming
points of
in,
interest
I may be
all over the
absent
place.
from Stanton for a while.
Let's go down to the
Lon, we
surface
are on
and start with
YouTube.
something closer to what you're used to, but in a whole new light.
I'm sorry, what, Stanton? Oh.
Right? Stanton Schmanton.
When we approached the surface of the planet, we wanted to start by focusing on just the soil and rock. One of the things that was missing from our terrain previously was simply feature complexity. Looking at our contemporaries, we lacked detail at the ground scale. To combat this, we've added a new layer of data. That layer is called the medium tiles. These are
All right, while this is
intelligently
playing, let
placed
me
on
see
top
what
of
she
the
wants.
existing 4-kilometer
Okay.
terrain tiles based on slope, soil type, and erosion data.
Reminds me of Lord of the
These
Rings
medium tiles
backdrop.
don't just create height changes,
Those
they
mountains.
also bring in local erosion data both for soil and bedrock size values. And this gives us a whole new level of terrain
Wow.
detail, of scale.
look at the
and
lighting,
allows
too.
us to
I mean, it's
create
just-
far more
it's
unique
amazing.
locations across the planet. So now that we've nailed the surface,
Rocks.
let's have a look at adding some rocks. We've now got 2 major contributors to the rock content of our planets.
We'll have to
Firstly,
see if they are,
long-desired feature,
say if global
cliffs.
illumination is turned on or off
We are adding
in
large
this.
scale, very detailed
It looks
geology
like global
to a
illumination.
given location. This adds an exciting new dimension to steep slopes that we simply couldn't get before. The second is a big one for you ground vehicle enthusiasts. Rocks are now found not scattered everywhere, like spilt popcorn at the cinema, but only in places you'd expect to find them, thanks to a brand new rock scattering algorithm that isn't annoying as hell. Using physical data generated for each large and medium tile, now rock distribution makes sense and has a physical basis. So if you're still crashing into them after this comes out, that's on you.
I was going to say, we'll probably be able to find some to run into.
Have had a glow up too. We now create rock sets related to a particular geology that look like they originated from the same source. And this ties
All right,
into
cool.
how
I
we're
guess I'm synced
distributing
up to you guys
minables in much more interesting ways too.
Hey.
So now that our base terrain and rock scattering looks good, let's add some vegetations and explore some additional biomes.
We have mist.
So the question is, when they're going to
Next one,
apply the rock
forests
scattering
and
to
grassland
Daymar so that
full
we
of
have
trees,
better
various
paths
grass
for
species, rock
rally.
formations, and they're found
I said they're
all
doing
sorts of
that, or
locations, like mountain valleys, open
they'll be
plains.
redoing Stanton. Yes, eventually.
When we start to add a bit of fresh water, they begin transitioning.
Then the hover bikes will just need to stop exploding randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wild forests are super
I think I heard
cool.
Microtech's
Let's
going to be the
focus on
first one to
grasslands
get a
and
rework
wetlands today.
with the new tech.
Well, they've also been talking about redoing our corp for the longest
So,
time too.
How are we making these look so great? Obviously,
I mean,
we've
what
had
would
grass
you do to
before,
ArcCorp?
but
It's a
never
giant
meadows
city
of
plan.
it. Because until
More
now,
points of
we haven't
interest
been
that
able
you
to
can
spawn
actually
grass
land
in
at and
large
do
enough
things.
quantities or effectively
I guess that's
represented at distance. So we're
You have,
stepping up
I
our
was like, what do
game
you
in
do?
terms of
What do you do to
spawning,
Star Citizen's
shading, and
Coruscant?
shading grass.
Yeah.
Except make it look more like a city.
Because you have plenty of
gases,
roofs at
now
all the
leverage
other
GPU
landing
spawn
points
to
that
create
you can
vast
deliver
quantities
stuff, but
of
there's
assets
no
across
activities
all
there.
biomes. Whether it be dense meadows,
Because you have like Area
J-Scale,
4,
I'm
Area 20.
convinced.
of ground cover, like you can
I'm
see
convinced that
in
they're showing the
wetlands.
Polaris a bunch so that you get a
We are
name
also
to
able
its
fit
shape,
our grass tiles
and then they're going to
by
sneak in
conforming them to
a
unique terrain underneath.
Perseus,
Now
and no
we
one's
can
going to notice.
cover complex attractions with
Yeah, but
vast
that's
ground
not the
cover assets.
Polaris though.
And as a
That's the
result,
new
they are now
Aurora rework.
gravity aligned, meaning is oriented as you'd expect, not sticking out like before.
Bailey, I don't know what you want. You've been outside, you have water, you're not getting
Wow, that
dinner
looks
this
like
early.
that's driving nice if it's real.
Let's take a look at
Yeah.
how we light our grass. Now, as in real life, the shading of a grass blade, or
I think they
indeed
keep
a
putting it
field
in
grass,
just
is
so you get
very
a sense of
different
scale.
like a flat
Oh,
surface.
I'm sure.
Probably right.
We now use a solution that shades meadows of grass far more like fur or hair. And this, if you think about it, makes sense. At a distance, a field of grass is far more like a carpet or cloth than a flat surface.
I don't know what you want.
This improves how our grass looks from a near perspective,
Other than
as well as
attention.
bringing us nicely into how we're solving the distant representation.
I just want to know, when am I going to be the first person to be killed by a
So,
bear
let's talk
in
about
Star
the distance
Citizen?
problem.
Bears attacking bears? Yeah, it
One of our
seems
biggest achievements
seems
of
normal.
Genesis is allowing us to build beautiful
I can now
biomes
die
of
to
flora
eels,
and geology
worms,
assets, like a
birds,
building set.
copians, and
Like, can
cows.
I say Lego? No. Too late. But in the past, this broke down very quickly.
Oh,
and
they're talking about
objects
LOD now.
disappeared when viewing the same
Yep.
biome from 10, 20, 100 kilometers away. Because we don't hide planetary transitions and allow you to view complex regions from very large distances, there are almost infinite perspectives from which you can see a location in Star Citizen. So, how can we afford to evaluate complex spawning logic at runtime for the entire swathes of the planet? Enter the virtual terrain.
Ooh, neat.
Ron Doug, you
Virtual
need to live
terrain,
in
or
one of those
VT for
woods.
short, is how we now cache and represent our terrain at varying scales. This has been the enabler for all of the lovely advances in terrain complexity and asset spawning we've shown so far. And it's also how we now evaluate and represent vegetation from a distance. When creating the VT for each part of the terrain,
Those are the
it sets
vibes you're
if
getting,
vegetation has covered the
J-Scale.
ground, and if so, what shading should be applied. For all of our biomes, we're now able to use the same shading model for the distant representation as the
Yay,
close
so no
up
shader switches right in the middle.
rolling hills,
Right.
some more dramatic rockscapes, those muggy wetlands, or even our festering swamps.
What? I can't
So,
pet you all
yeah,
the time.
we didn't forget about the swamps, and they're coming to Nix 1 as well.
Gators?
Using the lessons learned and all the technologies we've
Probably.
learned, these swamps now spring into existence from the planetary data.
I'm absolutely sure they're thinking of you, Dark, and what can kill you.
Probably.
From water interaction, then to spawning.
So frog gigging's
ground
coming
coverage.
to the verse.
And I think it creates something really unique.
Now I kind of want a pet slime.
We'll have our own Dagobah.
Anyway, that's our update on the Planet Tech portion of Genesis and how we're using it right now to sculpt the identity of Nix 1. And I hope you're as excited as we are to explore this and everything we haven't shared yet next year.
And everything we haven't shared yet.
As you can see, Genesis is now inspiring everyone here to create planets of the quality.
I mean, Genesis.
They do know that 1 month is not next year, correct?
Yeah. Well, also, Genesis was the name of the experiment in Star Trek II that formed a planet.
From
Yep.
anything we've done before. And with that said, let's move on to a little travel between systems.
Yeah, I was kind of figuring that's where that came from.
I have a feeling it might have.
So I'm guessing they're going to be adding the planets from what they're saying throughout the next year.
Yeah, they said that Nixon, the glacial belt, will be there at launch, and then the other stuff will be added throughout
We've never been able
2026.
to link these together, but with the introduction of our third star
Cross-system mission.
it's time for this to change. And that begins with the introduction of interstellar cargo.
What are you talking about?
Interstellar cargo.
System-to-system hauling mission.
Yay!
It's back.
What?
As we lose half of it through the wormhole.
I can't pet you for the whole time.
There you go.
These are
The whole
exactly what
scene's
they
working
say.
too.
Missions where you're going to start in, say,
Well, I mean,
Stanton,
that and the ability to do the offloads and unloads through those exterior docking
So
areas.
there'll be high volume cargo that kind of fulfill the purpose for the Hull C and the other series of Hull ships.
You're going to be
And there'll
vulnerable
a few
though.
sort of more direct routes.
So you might pick up some cargo from Ruin Station in Pyro.
I'm gonna
and
put you
go through
outside.
the jump point to Stanton and drop it off there at one of the Helios.
So if you've never sort of experienced the jump point or going through it, these missions will
She's being extra,
require
extra
you to.
needy today.
They're no way limited. You can do them in any sort of ship you want, any size of ship. I'll be doing them in my Drake Cutter myself, between Stanton and Nix.
The whole 4 SUC that you can call.
I've got a few ships, but the Drake Cutter is really cute, so.
One thing that we're looking to add with these interstellar missions is...
Well, if the Drake ship comes out, that's what I would use.
NPC ships. Maybe the mission giver has
Oh,
tipped
the
off some
Ironclad?
pirates who are looking to get a hold of that cargo, as well as express missions, which means the deadline timers that you're used to in the regular hauling missions.
He's
might
using the
get
cutter
really
because
tight.
nobody would bother him because he can't haul shit in it.
All of the love and care that has gone into hauling missions so far, with the logistical network and making sure they make sense within the themes of the systems, just as much love has gone into the interstellar missions we're making now.
At the start of the show, we said we was going to build out the Nix system right in front of you after 4.4 launches next month, and why we want to keep as much of what we're doing behind closed doors so you can discover it for yourself, in-game and on your own. We still are excited to share with you a brief look at one of our up-and-coming projects we're calling Rockcracker.
That looks cool.
Ooh.
Okay, so Rockcracker, Jared, is our internal name.
Rockcracker is
No
where
shit.
you have to crack a rock.
Big rock.
It's a big rock. You want more?
Rock crackers where you
It's
crack
a way
a rock.
out into the Keegan Belt.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Old QV break stations.
You just don't want to know what's inside the rock.
Yeah, probably not.
These were originally
You,
industrial facilities.
you also know we're going to find
breaking
out what
apart
happens if
large
you fly through
asteroids,
the
mining
rock
them
cracker.
down. Since they've been
Gonna be the
mothballed
first
and
thing I
left
do.
abandoned.
You gotta get cracking.
So you're going to have to find your way inside and thinking about how do we bring this facility back to life. It's not just about flipping a switch. As you bring these stations back to life, you'll be lighting the beacon.
Give us the
and
Orion.
calling attention to these long forgotten places.
One of the
No, I
main
can't run
features
into it
is
to break
the
it.
laser head, which will require certain things to get working. It's up to you and your friends to find how to get in.
There'll be a variety of options. Whether you're discovering the bowels of the station and mining your way through long forgotten tunnels,
I mean, I was
or you're
gonna do
going
that.
through the main laser entrance.
Be a lot of fuses to do. Bring.
Now, as you're
I'm just gonna have dark drive, and we'll end up inside somehow.
Probably.
Now, there may be ways to bring the facility back to life, kickstart the engines, and bring power to different parts of the facility. Maybe eventually bringing the laser back online.
Crack
and
those
cracking
rocks.
some rocks.
The secondary gameplay loop is FPS combat. You're not there by yourself.
There may be squatters and outlaws in these stations trying to stop you from what you want to do.
Well, when somebody tries to key, you kill them right back.
So is this wordplay to introduce the Kraken? All I know is I'm going to be EVA and somebody's going to turn that thing on and slice me into 10 pieces.
So you found these old facilities. You've brought them
Pretty
back
sure
to
it'll be
life.
Andy.
Probably.
You've systematically brought power to various functions of the facility. You've activated the laser. You've fired the laser.
Now, Andy doesn't try to kill you. He just
You've
leaves you
broken
for
apart
dead.
the rock.
Yeah.
Well, Andy's getting permanent laser control rights at this point.
So you fly a ship.
What does this
into an
button
asteroid.
do?
Yeah. You just get into your ship and fly in and start.
It's a
searching
giant
around and trying to
Kinder
find
egg.
places that you want to mine.
It's a giant geode.
I'm really excited about Rock Echo because it's a sandbox activity. You can kind of go to these whenever you want to.
This content
Warning,
is for
X.
players who enjoy mining, who enjoy exploration, investigation, and don't mind a little bit of FPS content while they're there.
A little, huh?
I mean, that's not that bad. I mean, we enjoy all the industrial stuff, plus we enjoy FPS. It's a mission that incorporates the two of them.
Oh, agreed.
And show its secret. And one presumes you can make a decent amount of scratch in an asteroid that's big enough you fly your spaceship into it.
It wouldn't be worth doing if you couldn't make a good amount of coin. Yeah.
Making promises for the econ team.
Yeah. They've got to balance it.
You gotta balance it.
It's for people who want a lot of minerals. When crafting comes in, when all the other mechanics and features that we want in the game for 1.0 come in, it will be a place where like an organization or a group of like 5-6 people could come and just get a monumental amount of minerals.
Yeah, refinery ships would definitely be handy in that
So,
case.
That's a look at some
Yeah, I'm
possibility
hoping we get
over the
some
next 12
new
months.
ships by
In
then.
addition to what we've shown, there'll be new mission packs tailored to the People's Alliance and their struggles. There'll be events that invest you into the evolving storyline of all three systems we'll have in the game. And of course, when we begin populating these with new planets, there'll be a whole host of ground-based POIs, settlements, and structures inhabited by those trying to make their way in the verse. And all of this in service of building star systems that complement the massive corporate yard of Stanton, the lawless ganking of Pyro, and now the new frontier of discovery for the Nyx system. Should I say ganking?
You already.
Yeah, with being concept art and all that
So
for
yeah, a
some
whole
of
lot
those
to take
missions,
in
I would
there.
imagine that's going to
Interstellar
be
Hauling is the beginning of a massive
still quite a
expansion to
bit
the mission
of the
system
way
that'll let us
out.
connect these three star systems like never before. What else we got? Rock Cracker.
I kind of want to work there if we get to use that
That'll
cafeteria.
be coming to the Nick system in the
What's
first
that?
half of next year, where you're gonna
If we get to use that cafeteria, I definitely want to work there.
Yeah.
more than anything else. Complain about PvPers getting in their way. No, I'm being told it's mining. It's mining. And of course, one of the most anticipated features coming to Star Citizen, Genesis, and what that means for the planets of Star Citizen, including the ones already in there. So let's talk to Will Hain and find out more. And I'm just remembering that Will Hain is in France at the watch party. Okay, France. Ask Slarty Bartfast over there how they're going to use Genesis to update the planets and moons of Stanton and get back to me, all right? And see if we can get
Ooh,
some
nice.
words. What else we got? The Citizencon Digital Goodies Pack. That's a hard thing to say. That went up for sale a couple weeks ago and has a whole bunch of mysterious items in it. And that's what I can tell you now that almost all of them are tied to the Nick system.
Oh, hooray. This is what I wanted to.
So let's find out what's actually in there.
Okay, new pet. I'm happy.
Suit and helmet. Two
Oh, it's a Vanduul plushie.
Causing a ruckus with a Vanduul. And an Intersect BDU sweater and outfit. A couple of crazy weapons that I'm certain we're going to learn about in just a few minutes. Some slick Levski swag. And finally, to celebrate the long-awaited addition of the Vanduul to Star Citizen, a cool Vanduul knife and adorable plushie, which I swear to love and squeeze and cherish forever. So yeah, it's a pretty solid haul for this year's Digital Goodies Pack, which you can still pick up right now on the RSI store.
And we do
So now,
have one of
let's go
those
ahead and
packs to give
transition
away
into
for our
next segment.
Gollum Solo mining
Much of what you
competition.
see
That'll
in the show
be
today
next
has been
Saturday at
the
6
culmination
p.m.
of a lot of people's work in... All right, I had a dream about like this once. Yeah. Okay, so against everyone's better judgment, the thing is finally happening.
Which everybody's welcome to jump into the Discord, and if anybody's interested in getting into that mining competition, you can still reach out to me on Discord to get your name added in, and I'll have details out tomorrow for all the rules.
A major showcase celebrating everybody's hard work.
You got more, right?
Well, yeah, there's spaceships coming up.
Cool.
Wow, it's like they only scanned the original community portion of me. If pictures steal your soul, imagine what face scanning in PCAP does.
Well,
this has been
Bailey,
super
go
crazy.
lay down. Go lay down.
Bye.
Oh. Regular Citizencon is still better.
I do hope they take this back to live next year. Stop.
All right. No.
Oh, the puppet.
No. Let's just go to some spaceships, shall we?
I've never
Hi,
met
my
a
name's
better
John
community
Crew. I'm the
manager
vehicle
than
director here at CIG, and
Oh,
welcome to
yeah.
Talking Ship, where we're going to talk about 3 new ships coming to the persistent universe.
3 new ships.
The last year has been pretty hectic in terms of vehicle deliveries. I think we've delivered the most we've ever done in a 12-month period, and we've covered all the way from tiny little snubs all the way up to capital ships.
We've kind of filled out a few little gaps. We've introduced some new ships by some old manufacturers.
We had the Polaris come out, and obviously people have enjoyed playing with that. We snuck the Idris in without none of you expecting it for a while, and it's been a busy year. It's nice to start revisit some of the older catalogue and some of the bigger ships again.
I think my favourite ship from the last year is a tie between the Wolf and the Golem.
Favourite ship in the last year? Probably the Wolf.
I feel like it's the obvious one. I'm trying to think of something else, but I really like the Wolf.
Everyone's mentioning the Wolf. The Wolf's everyone's favourite.
Yeah,
the Wolf is great, but I will say that I am most impressed with the Golem.
To the game.
The Wolf was,
Yeah.
you know, it was kind of everything we said.
Got somebody to ban on Twitch, by the way.
Manufacturer, we've not seen anything from a while.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Wolf.
The Golem, I think, is just an incredibly well-formed ship in such a small package. It really just shows off that Drake aesthetic.
It also simplifies the mining for people, especially new people. They don't have to get into laser heads and all that.
Mhm, yeah.
And you get the same SCU capacity as the
Next year we've got some super
the
exciting ships coming up.
Prospector.
We're ticking off a few big
And it
ones.
fits in an Idris. Oh.
Yeah.
We're gonna,
well, 12 of them can fit
see,
in an Idris.
Again, maybe some
Mhm.
ships from some manufacturers that don't have that many in their lineup. There's a few big challenging ones starting, so they're good. A breadth of ships, should we say?
The 3 new ships we're going to introduce today all tie in some way to the primary factions.
Obviously
fighting
the
over Nick
Stinger.
system. We'll start with the People's Alliance and Anvil Aerospace.
That's going to be the Paladin.
Anvil is a very military-based brand. It's been a brand that's in Star Citizen for a long time, fighting for lots of military contracts and law.
The
often
Dorito,
up against
the Zeus.
Aegis, and to the point it actually beat Aegis in the past.
I will
You'll
say
be
the
familiar with a
Wolf
lot
does
their
have a lot of
ships'
Naboo
designs, such as the Hornet
Starfighter
and Lightning.
kind
Earlier
of
this year, we
inspiration
introduced
to it.
Anvil Asgard based on the Valkyrie chassis, which is an extremely popular offering. And this year, we're bringing the concept ship we introduced
Yep,
last
there's
year,
Paladin.
the Paladin, to life. The Paladin is a gunship from Anvil Aerospace designed to support ground operations.
A gunship is a ship that's designed to sustain a sustained firefight while dealing a lot of damage, also taking damage.
We don't have a lot of gunships in the game. They're true dedicated gunships.
I already
They
got my
are quite
Paladin
a
lined up.
tricky archetype to control in game without being too powerful. It's designed with a lot of firepower and high armor and health, but very low maneuverability.
It's multi-crew. It's just.
I
built
find it's easier to
purely
just
for battle.
ram
It's
through
got
anything that gets
lots
in
of
your
armor,
way.
Lots of guns, big guns.
It's got a very similar squat kind of form to the Valkyrie. It kind of reminds me
I
of,
like it.
I guess, like a pit bull. Obviously a very menacing silhouette.
It looks quite forward-weighted in its stance. It feels like it's coming towards you even when it's just sat still, and I think that's something that helps with it feeling intimidating.
If we swing round, following the ship round clockwise, what you'll then see is first
Everybody
the side
knows
turrets.
you're here.
If you notice the canopy, you'll see that there's a fairly thick space between where the glass is and the hull exterior. That's because it has deployable armor, which can come out and give you a bit more cover while you're actually attacking the target head on.
It's got these really nice kind of dual connected wings with the turrets out on the sides, just to try and give as much kind of range for those turrets as we can get.
Which is controlled by one of the two remote stations underneath the bridge. If we come around to the rear, you'll see a rail. Now that rail meant the main
Oh, just like the Scorpius.
co-pilot.
We've got full 360 coverage underneath.
I like
full
that.
360 coverage on top with it. And then the side turrets also have 360 coverage that way around and 180 out sideways. So really you have, between the turrets, pretty much 360 coverage in all directions.
Nice.
One of the unique things about the Paladin is all the turrets are remote and all the crew are located in this one central two-story room.
A lot of our other gunships, the crew gets scattered across the ship, but with the Paladin, you're all sat together. It's like
a flying tank.
Experience, so you can
Pretty
really
much,
feel like
yeah.
you're playing as a group.
You've got the pilot, co-pilot up top, and you've got the gunners underneath, and I think that helps with the intention of
Kinda like
ship
the Corsair.
because you've got this really nice kind of like gunner viewpoint down, kind of giving this lower coverage.
We added a glass floor just to keep the two connected. I think that really
I like
the
that.
feeling that you're all working together and communicating.
That said, if you don't have the ability to fully crew a Paladin, you can still.
Does that
fly
mean
it
you can
and
strip down and
engage
moon
in
them through the
combat
glass?
Solo.
Obviously,
Probably.
if you have a full crew, but you can't always guarantee your friends are going to be online.
As a
What are the
solo
butt cheek
ship,
textures
it's pretty
like?
capable of doing a variety of missions within Star Citizen. So if you want to run this ship solo, you can take on combat missions that, say, other heavy fighters like the Scorpius and
Nice ramp.
other ships such as the Drake Cutlass could do.
Ooh.
Coming aboard the Paladin, you enter into this sort of armory ready room area. You have a variety of suit lockers and
They
racks
really gotta get
in
the
this
suit
room.
lockers working.
Everything's very militaristic, stripped back.
Mhm.
Simple. It's a very functional space, but you'll find everything you need in there.
One of the improvements from the original concept is we've added a
Nice.
small dedicated cargo bay area, allowing you to store actual SCU crates. Forward of that is the route to the lower gunners, and then upstairs you have the bridge area, and then off that central area you have the dual living quarters, one on the left, one on the right, and then at the rear you have the main sort of engineering area where the majority of the components are. Also within the upper traversal area, you also have a little
Paladin is
breakout
now
area
out on the
with
store.
Seating, food machines,
Wow.
toilets, etc.
I think it's a very cool looking ship. I think we did a really nice job of taking what was there in the concept and adding an extra level of detail and trying to kind of push things forward.
I think it hits the nail in terms of a really solid military ship. It's really complementary to some of the other ships in the Anvil lineup. So something like the Valkyrie, where you've got this big drop ship. You know, the Paladin's there just to make sure it's safe, make sure no one messes with you, and just basically scare people away.
The thing I like most, I think,
350 for the Paladin, and it's flight ready.
Got a crew of 4, and they all kind of work and operate under the same
Oh, it's
conditions,
in.
You know, the
Yeah,
pilot,
it's in.
the
It's
pilot
listed as flight ready.
basically
So we'll
all
be
equal.
messing with that
There's one toilet,
this evening.
Everyone's got the same style of bunk.
Yeah,
When
nice.
they're at work, everyone's at the front of the ship together.
It was what, 260 concept?
I think so, yeah.
It was 300.
Was
well,
it?
You know, it's you all work together. You're all equal at work. You're
Toilet seat never gets cold.
Toilet seat never gets cold. Yeah.
So that's the Anvil Paladin, whilst originally a military-built craft.
So we'll
it's
definitely be
perfect
flying
for
that
folks on the
tonight.
Frontier trying to defend against threats. And talking of threats, let's move to our
Yeah, I
next ship.
figured this was
Now,
from
I wonder if they got any paints for it. Here comes the Stinger.
Xperia are a high-end manufacturer. They specialize in recreating exotic and particularly alien spacecraft.
Effectively, what they're doing is they're remanufacturing them.
And
making
they
them
do have
a little bit more
the
suitable for
oh
human
Admiral.
flight. And the latest offering from Xperia is the Vandal Stinger.
It's not all orange, but
Vandal are
it's
big,
yellowish
scary
orange.
aliens. They're like 7-foot-tall, evil.
It's
warriors
very
that
orange.
sort
The
of
Solaris
take
paint-
over, steal
paint.
technology
No, I'm
off
talking about the
orbit,
Paladin
fuse
paint.
it all together into their own needs.
They are
Oh, Paladin's got an orange paint, huh?
nasty aliens
White
that you
and orange.
sometimes hear about and haven't seen much of yet. They also make
Kind of
really cool
more a
space
white and gold.
The Stinger as a Vandal heavy fighter was reserved for their higher tier sort of ace pilots or high-ranking members within their clans.
The Stinger is a competitor to something like the FA or I guess the Scorpius.
It packs a lot of firepower in quite a large frame, so it's a very, very tanky spacecraft. The firepower
Stinger is 290
almost
war
unrivaled in
bond,
terms of
and
just
now on the
both
store.
The number and the size of them. So it's there for players who don't want agility. They don't want to be in and out.
So there you go,
They're
Ron Dog,
broad,
290 war bond. Oh yeah, you
big
already
guns
saw
and
it.
taking all the hits.
Stinger as well.
One thing
Yep,
Xperia
Stinger's
have done
on the
differently with
pledge store,
Stinger
290
is
war
they have
bond.
done away with the majority of the bespoke weapons.
They heard everyone's complaints about the glaive and blade and have stripped off the original Vandal weapons to allow customization for standard human weapons.
With the exception of the single-size 5 gun.
Because it was too well integrated into the hull, even for Xperia to remove.
All the additional weapons are generic mounts, so they can be swapped with any of the existing lineup that we have in the game. By doing this, provides greater flexibility to the end user, and this is something Xperia wanted.
That actually
For
looks
that one
really
bespoke
good.
weapon, the size 5 plasma cannon. Functionally, it is the same as the existing size 5 plasma cannon.
315 non-war bond.
But it is a sort of Gen 2 model and wraps it in a different aesthetic compared to those models. You'll see they're very much older Vandal styling. This is much newer Vandal styling, but underneath it is the same weapon that people have used for years.
Our job as the vehicle art team on the PU was to take the Stinger from the squadron.
So one size
and
5, 4
prepare
size
for
4,
light.
2 size 2.
We took an opportunity to take, you know, this really well-established art style.
It's a lot of punt.
You know, add extra details where needed.
So the exterior is a real blend of these kind of hard surface, kind of rare alloyed kind of wings, and then underneath this real kind of
That might be a
organic
good candidate to
structure.
move my
It kind of
Apollo
webs all the
triage.
ships together. You know, it connects the thrusters in, it connects all the kind of underside of the vehicle, and pulls the whole ship together.
You can tell it's very different from the Vandal ships that are currently in the PU. If you take, for example, the way the cockpits are constructed.
Up at the front, we've got this big kind of bubble dome that gives the cockpit quite a unique shape compared to some of our other ships, and also gives the pilot a unique position within the ship and kind of gives great visibility out the front.
Boarding the Stinger is a little unusual compared to other ships, obviously being alien in nature.
You're going through a ramp at the rear, and at least you're kind of straight up into the
ramp.
belly of the ship.
There's, you know,
That is
lots
interesting.
of organic detail, rib cages, kind of strange alien forms.
On entry of the cockpit, the seat.
Let me see if it says flight ready.
Climb over the back of it a bit like a motorbike.
You're
Yes, it is.
basically
Yes,
riding
flight
into the
ready.
cockpit. It feels very much like you're being like carried inside the cockpit.
Into the traditional prone flying pose that Vandal pilots use.
Very happy with the Stinger. I think the team have done a really good job of making something that feels.
So did it not
different,
have an
it feels
interior?
alien, but it suits our life.
No
it
idea.
suits our universe.
I think the guys did a really good job of respecting the, you know, direction.
You load through the
and
sphincter.
vision
Yeah.
from the original.
It's an awful large ship to not have an interior.
Tried to take a lot of
It doesn't
inspiration
have one.
from movies and other science fiction
It's
material.
got like a corridor inside,
It
so
sits
maybe.
well within the Star Citizen
Goodbye,
universe.
Apollo.
So we have
But
Malcolm
no
for
interior.
the People's Alliance. We have the Stinger for people that really.
That
like
is a big
FanDuel
ship
and
not to have
want
one.
Try and pretend to be them. But what about the other mysterious faction we have running around?
It's kind of like the Guardian that doesn't have the bed.
Ooh, cowboy.
Yeah.
Start as he was working at a cargo center out in Odin. He
Give me that
started
fucking
to get his
cowboy.
hands on some stuff that other people couldn't. Items that necessarily you couldn't find on a store shelf, but you wanted
Will it fit on a bear head?
I think Gray is interested in, you know, happy customers. You know, Gray just sees themselves as a conduit.
That's
to
what
get
it looked
these
like,
things
yeah,
in the hands
Jace.
of people who are would appreciate it.
Cad Bane.
And I think that his latest offering is really going to turn some heads.
A Drake?
The Drake Shiv?
So the Shiv,
What?
we don't really know what it is, if I'm, to be fair.
It's what happens when someone who is
Oh, looks kinda
genius
cool.
at aeronautics and ship assembly is given free rein to do
A
whatever
cutty
they
without
want.
its forward
It's
wing.
the best of whatever they can find. lying
Yeah, I mean,
around.
it does look
Yeah.
like that.
Something
It's got 2 size 4s for the pilot and 4 size 3s for the turret.
and just released out into the universe to see what happens.
And it is
At
flight
first glance
ready.
at the exterior of the
150.
ship, I think most people will probably recognize there is more than a fair
It
proportion
is on
of
the
colours
pledge store. It is
visible
flight ready,
there, but
small,
it's had
2-man
quite a few
crew,
changes to
and
it.
As
150
you look a
pledge
little bit
price.
closer, you'll start to pick out elements from other ships.
Neat.
You've got, you know, main
Expect
So
focus
it's
of
a-
the Valkyrie.
So it's a
Even the bits
dual
that are
crew
obviously
fighter.
Cutlass have
Yeah.
had panels welded on, panels removed. The top turret, which is now remote, is just this hodgepodge amalgamation with multiple other ships' turrets. And then the changes continue onto the inside, where again, it sort of feels Cutlass-like, but then you'll find there's bits of Crusader ships just integrated into the wall instead of what was there originally.
It has lost its side entrance, some of its cargo capacity, but what it's gained is it's gained visually more powerful thrusters. It's gained a really kind of nice set of belly thrusters.
Does it have a
Up to
toilet?
Firepower.
As
It's
ever,
the
with
jalopy.
The refined work from Gray's Market.
32 SE of cargo.
Care was taken to the health and safety.
Yeah, I'll take a look at the
There's no
paints
trip
for
hazards
the for that.
There's like loose cables, panels are exposed. If you look carefully, you'll notice there are like
All right.
tools laying around at the top.
Okay.
Toilet.
It does have a toilet.
Bucket.
A bucket.
Yeah, it's one for doing
135
something,
war
second one
bond
to
for
wash
the
your hands.
Shiv.
It's not an animal.
It has very much taken that ethos of Drake and moved it down a level, which I think is quite an achievement.
Can you
Just look at
take
this.
Drake and
How do
move
you
it down a
even
level?
Describe the madness that created this. It's the Shiv.
I mean, wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't
Something
either.
New and different for Star Citizen. Where did it come from?
I'm not going to answer that.
Just
Nope.
nothing. Just
No comment.
Gray goes to places and talks to people. I mean, you know, there are just many ways to find these things that, you know, I mean,
that's cool paint.
Are they legitimate
That is a cool paint.
manufacturers? No. Are they operating on the right side of the law? Maybe not, but, you know, money's money.
Does Gray have a motto, an ethos to live by?
It probably comes down to, don't ask where I got it.
Don't ask how we got it.
Don't worry about it. Just ask if you want it.
The rear main thrusters are
It's
taken
for
from
someone
a
that
Valkyrie.
wants something a bit different, a bit away from the norm.
Yes.
That just wants something that's unique.
It's
Engine's
definitely for
stolen
people
from
who
a
like the
freelancer.
rustic aesthetic.
It's a fun ship.
Remote
It's actually
turret
really
taken
strong,
from an
to be honest,
F7A
and
Mark
it's
II.
Absolutely a statement.
I'm happy with the 3 ship offerings. They are obviously very combat heavy.
There's something we wouldn't normally release all at once, but honestly, all of them are a different statement and they're all cool.
As always, super excited to release these ships into the game and just see how players react and play with them. It's always fun to see the quirks and the shenanigans that people get up to with them. So that's talking ship for another year.
Spectre, I just want my Galaxy.
So I've just been informed that we have to do a bit of a timeshare agreement this year, so we have to throw it over to Alexi for Talking Weapons, which is an extremely original name.
I'm talking about the new edition that come out in October. The non-weapons are essentially the weapons that does not have a manufacturer, the weapons that you can think of that were made by space pirates.
Gray sells whatever he
Is
can
Gray
sell.
just discount Dan?
Sometimes he gets his hands on some weapons that come
Oh,
from
the Viper paint
unknown
is really
origins.
nice
He will
looking
sell
for
things
the
that
Stinger. I like that.
No company in their right mind would ever make.
These are the most kind of like scrappy and taped together and the most kind of like pyro-ish weapons that you can think of.
Right now we're releasing 3 new weapons. Rocket launcher, the LMG, and the long-awaited Space AK.
Space AK.
I think this is the one that not only is the most in demand, but I've been politely badgered about the most. It's a fun rifle that basically fires energy and ballistic in sequence. So your first shot will be your ballistic, your second shot will be the energy. You'll see on the top of
Interesting.
the art, there is a bolt that cycles the rounds, and that goes off with the ballistic shot, but it does not go off with the energy shot. And that is just
Interesting.
It's a dual barrel.
of making a weapon work and kind of like
It's a laser ballistic.
Yeah.
glued together kind of aesthetic.
Rondog Gibbs Space AK. I'm looking at this LMG. I mean, it's like an FS9 on steroids.
Hard-hitting beast.
It will bring the 50 cal, and the only other weapons that have this right now in the verse are the Bearing sniper rifle and the Coda.
Honestly, if you even get hit by one, you just
Jeez, that thing's got some huge power.
Oh, hell yeah, it does.
Are you even trying anymore?
You know what?
Are you even trying anymore?
complicated, Fancy guns, and some people just want, I want a slow firing rifle. Give me a scrap together box that fires the biggest thing you can possibly fire.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll take that.
We don't have a
I may have to trade in
rocket
some of my
launcher
FS9s.
of this
What?
caliber. It will be 3 grenades straight together that you pull into the tube. And
Why does
fire
that look
towards
like
the
it was
enemy.
made
The good part
by
about it will
an
have
elementary
range
schooler
distance,
with Elmer's
so you
paste?
will not be able to just point it towards an enemy.
It's also going to have a lot of spread. So essentially, you're going to have to get very close with your launcher to be able to blow up ships with a single payload in it. You can't actually aim with the apparatus because you've got the tube on your shoulder. You try to aim it, you have to physically put the tube in your head. So we were like, oh, we can't have an aiming apparatus for this. And then we realized, like, it's in the spirit of being a tube that you can't use the aiming apparatus, and you just kind of like, all right, I think that's the middle of the screen, I'm gonna hit it.
It's in the spirit of being a tube. Binoculars or
binoculars?
I just want
Binoculars
night
are
vision.
really cool.
I don't care about laser dead.
Well, I mean, we have the low light scopes now.
Think
That's
it will be
that's
really
at least a step in the right
convenient to
direction.
use something that's dedicated to look for the things, especially far away, instead of using your sniper scope, for example.
Will the binoculars have glint?
I'm not aware of this one. Probably not, because binoculars are not something that you need to be aware of.
It's really funny because obviously, due to Glintgate, as you know, I beautifully internally call it, basically there was a lot of community feedback basically saying like, oh, I really like spotting people. I really like playing a spotter. And essentially I was like, oh, this community wants to be able to spot people from distances. And what can we make gadget-wise that doesn't require new features? And it was like, binoculars. And I prototyped a thing which essentially was just a scope in a hand, and it worked. So we've got some really cool binoculars coming that allow you to spot people from distances.
And how much damage do the binoculars do?
Thanks, Alexi and Zach. That's the end of this segment for this year. So that's talking ship and weapons, unless anyone else is going to come and tell me something else. It's been an exciting year, and I think the next year of ships is going to be even more exciting and expansive than this year.
Yay!
So we'll have 3 new ships to check out tonight.
Well. That is an eclectic bunch of combat ships for the verse. And they're all available right now.
Oh, okay, so they're not actually viable right now, but next week
also,
with the patch.
any minute now, there's going to be a PG
Oh, is that what it
drop
says? They won't be in until next week with the patch? I mean, they might put them in the PTU, though.
No, he said you can fly them now.
432 goes live. 3 combat ships. I wonder if they'll have any additional uses coming up later in the show. That's a hint.
Londart's got a Shiv. Vandal ship will need to wait for a test flight. I've got so many things to
desk mat things.
to CCU that I know I'm not going to fly. I can just
Levski
CCU
metal
it.
posters on the store, and of course, love them or hate them, but you can't avoid them. There's this cool new Wickelow's Emporium T-shirt. Yeah. There's also a page published earlier today with a bunch of links to offerings from our third-party partners, from eye trackers to gaming chairs to voice packs to spaceship models from new partners like Planet Ring and Pigeon Space.
I will say the gaming chairs they have are interesting and they look really nice, but not at the price that they're asking for them.
For those of you at watch parties, where is it? Challenge coins. Who doesn't love challenge coins? There's these lovely Levski themed challenge coins if you're attending one of the 9 official watch parties around the world.
No.
There's also a digital.
Yeah, I'm not
goodies
official.
pack, so you check those out. Don't leave today without getting your Levski challenge coin. All right. What else can I shill? Now I'm kind of tired of shilling. All right.
But I really don't think that they're going to have an official watch party in Corntown, USA.
Can we do? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Okay, here we go. Pardon me. Here we go. Excuse me. Hi. How you doing? That was my best angle. Hey, I got to be careful. Last year, I took 3 steps and tore a muscle. All right.
Yeah,
so
I remember.
This is the
I remember
9th
that.
floor of CIG Manchester's Manchester office.
This is their freaking office.
This is the room where we have lunch every day. And
Time to go work there.
early enough, croissants.
Is that a bangle
if the
back
weapons
there?
team hasn't stolen all of them. Over here, we got some cool.
No, those are
sections,
nice.
Representing different aspects of the game. You got the ever-present, Hurston security armor over here. That's really cool. You got your Dusters armor right here. You got this guy from a game that we're not talking about today. Marine armor. Yeah, it's all pretty cool. And then when you come over here, got a nice little recreation area. There's some sim pits over there for people who need to test that kind of stuff. We got this cool Krigeri, Bengal carrier. Come over here.
Damn.
Go down the.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. I'm gonna go.
Oh, don't tell me.
I think we'll be able to fit some ships in there.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Just a few.
Hi, Mom. All right. So yeah, and what are you doing, Richard Towler? All right. I thought John was
It's the
watching
John
PC.
Crew puppet.
Let's see, what else we got? We got cool Voyager bar here. This is where we get all kinds of breakfast goodies, coffee, stuff like that. Hey, who remembers the big coffee controversy of 2016, where everybody took to Reddit and pondered the question, do devs deserve coffee? I do. You want to see what next year's big controversy is? Check this out.
He sounds like he's had a few cups already.
Do devs deserve coffee? Welcome.
Are we
to
getting the
Star
Mixmaster?
Burrito machine.
Oh, remember they were supposed to put the Mixmaster in the E1?
Do devs deserve frozen deliciousness? I don't know. Go to Reddit. Let us
That was
know.
so passive aggressive.
All right, let's see. Let's go over here. Competition. Oh, competition winners. We have the list of competition winners. Can we put that on the screen? Yeah, sorry, competition winners. Remember the competition for the Citizencon winners? The people made the videos, and we gave them a Kruger L21 Wolf. We actually have the names.
And in front of you.
behind me.
Yeah. Come on, you're going outside. Let's go. Out.
All right, let's go. Also, everybody's got food. Do I have food here? Oh, somebody's supposed to save me pizza. All right, so we got. Oh, you guys saved me a lot of pizza. Let's see. There's.
Why does that one have toes on it?
Pizza here.
It's a peel and rip garlic knot crust.
Aha.
All the pizza.
That's a Citizencon throwback if you're not familiar with. So I have now crafted my own pizza experience. And that is a terrible segue into our next segment. Gemma, can we, Gemma, you there?
Yes, Jared.
Can we fire up the FPS crafting segment while I try to chew this off camera?
We sure can. Roll, BT.
The digital goodies pack updated, and a lot of it's orange. Ooh.
Yay!
Star Citizen, at its heart, will always be an enormous sandbox experience where you can set out to tackle the universe in whatever ways
I think that's lighting.
you want.
It's mostly like
But that doesn't
brown
mean
and
we can't
red.
shape parts of the universe here and there to better
You
suit
see what it
our
looks like in
needs.
game.
That goes for both you and us. Let's start this part of the show with a look at how crafting is going to change everything from resource gathering, refining, and even combat when it comes online in the next few months.
The first version of crafting is going to be quite small in scale. We're going to use it as a kind of a concentrated effort to allow the players to experience the initial UI, the flow of gathering materials that have different quality, and using those to craft items which are better than what they have currently in the game.
The first version is going to be primarily FPS items that you can craft, weapons and armor. For Star Citizen, crafting is our primary progression mechanic. Star Citizen isn't your standard MMO. We don't have levels. We have ships, we have gear, we have things that you create in the world, you perfect, you research, you improve. And those items, those ships, those vehicles, the armor and weapons, that's how you progress in Star Citizen. Crafting isn't just a progression mechanic for creating new items. It's also a fundamental change to how we handle resources in the game. The materials that you collect, how you refine them, quality matters.
Crafting the weapons, you'll be able to have some quality materials to influence the item stats on those weapons.
It'll be somewhat random, potentially weighted on the location of the material. Some will have a higher chance of higher quality. And once you take those materials to your crafting bench,
Ooh, taser pistol.
You can use them to craft, and the different attributes will be increased based on the quality of the materials you use.
And
It's not
actually, the
just
LMG is
iron ore
part of
anymore,
the
it's iron ore
2955 goodies
quality
pack,
that
I
you know
believe.
will get you the exact stats for the item that you desire. And it's not just
Ooh,
mining,
I like that
it's
resource.
Essentially every
Yeah.
resource we can get our hands on.
To support this, we also need major changes to inventory so that all of these
Oh, that's a new
resources you're
UI.
collecting, you can see what you have, you can
I think
order
that's
it better, you can understand what you have in your inventory.
I don't think
We won't
that's
have
how it's going to
the
look.
new
It's just them
refining
showing that.
crafting system yet. We'll be using the existing ones. Those will pass the quality through into the refined materials, which you can then take to your crafting machine and start making your personal items. Once you have your blueprint and your quality materials that you've refined, then you can put them together on the item fabricator. This will be pretty much what we showed in last year's Citizencon, with the UI letting you assign your quality resources to different aspects of the item. Once you're happy with what you see on the preview, you'll be able to click to craft, and it'll get
3D
queued up,
printer of death.
and your result will be produced sometime later.
We're gonna print the best grenades
You'll be able to
ever.
get the new crafting machine from shops in most landing zones. You'll be able to bring it up on your freight elevator and use it in your personal hands.
Nice.
Or tractor beam it around and stick it on a ship if you want to use it from
So
there.
it's entirely self-contained.
Yeah.
There'll be a small amount of blueprints you get credited to your account just to test and mess around, but the vast majority of them will be earned through missions, and then you can use that blueprint to craft the item that it is that you've got the
No,
blueprint
we can't
for,
build a
so
ship in
should
it
be
yet.
A good reason to go and test all the different various missions in the game.
The advantage of crafting your own items is that they'll be better than anything that you could buy from shops. You'll be able to increase and
hello
improve
there,
item stats
John
that are
Wick.
relevant to your gameplay. Maybe your gun will shoot faster. Maybe it'll do some more damage.
Ooh, that's cool
or
armor.
Your armor will have greater
Yeah, I
resistances
like that.
against environmental effects or incoming fire. You might be wondering, what about the upgrade and research? That will be coming in a subsequent release. We're happy with this initial scope for crafting.
It's going to be so valuable for us as devs to kind of get the metrics in, get the feedback in, because then we can make the changes that, you know, they only become obvious, so to speak, when you have kind of mass amounts of data and mass amounts of users using it. So I'm very excited to get it out in the wild.
It's our intention to get crafting out on tech preview by the end of the year and get the testing we need so we can release it when it's ready.
Are those the ASD Geistar?
That's one.
No,
way
the ones
you'll
that
be
you
crafting
said
your
were really
own
cool. No, that's not the
experiences in
guys.
the Star Citizen universe.
No, the one he
But
just
what
had
about
on the
us? Where do we
Archangels.
get to hone in and craft
that I don't
bespoke
know.
experience here and there, specifically tailored?
I haven't
to
messed with the
individual
guys
or
just
small
because
group
I
play.
prefer the
Well,
heavier
that's where
armor and I didn't want to do all the
instancing comes in.
searching, so
And I'm going to let Benji
I wouldn't
tell you a little bit
recognize
more.
it.
We're bringing instancing to Star Citizen in 2026. Why are we doing it, and how will it work? So if you've played any content in 2025 in Star Citizen, you know that most of these areas were in actual PvP zones where other players could interfere. Instancing is a means to create an environment where designers can create tailored content that's tuned to a specific group size,
Nice.
but it is also protected from outside interference. It's not to say that we don't love PvP. I'm a PvP guy. PvP me, bro.
That is a huge quality
Like
of life
most
improvement.
MMOs, a good balance between a dangerous overworld and a protected instances is needed. Right now, we don't have this ability, and this is something we really need in order to give you a sense of progression that is tailored and balanced to a tunable amount of groups, so the difficulty matches the group size. There's a beginning and an end. It doesn't mean that that doesn't fit in our overworld strategy, meaning getting to the instance is dangerous, exiting the instance is dangerous, or can be interfered with others. But at least when you're playing the content, we can actually make something that's curated for one experience.
That's going to be huge.
So before anybody says this is only a PvE thing, this technology can also be applied to unlock curated PvP experiences that are as seamless as the PvE ones. So it's not about one thing or the other. It's really about unlocking developers' ability to create curated content. So that said, how will it work? Instancing is really an evolution over static to dynamic meshing. We want your instances to be as seamless as your instance hangars, meaning that when you take an elevator, you exit the elevator, you're inside the instance. A gateway opens, you cross that gateway, you're now into your instances. Could be also a quantum jump into an instance that you don't even see. The transition is just like a dynamic mesh transition. And so throughout the universe, we will be able to add these areas that are open or closed instances that allow you to join in either with a party and have a reserved instance for your party, or join in open instances that has a number of slots. And so some of those areas will be completely instanced on different servers. This allows us to leverage the compute power of the entire mesh.
Oh,
The
I hope
closed
they're
ones
bringing
will
it
be
back.
really to drive one piece of content. You enter and exit seamlessly, just like we do with your instance hangars currently. Let's go and find out what one of our first instances.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Siege!
Siege of Arzen was an event we did previously, which
The best thing
created
so
a
far.
gameplay scenario.
Oh, how
where
I
you
miss
had to
Siege.
Run through and progress through contested islands of Arzen. This
And
is a
honestly,
high-paced, high-intensity event, but it struggled a little
It's-
bit from
it's
its
been a
technical
long time, and I
execution.
love that
But now with
gameplay.
the introduction of instancing, it gives us an opportunity to evolve it and modify it and make it
Yeah, that'd be
better
nice being
for
able to do
you
a
in
small group.
to
It's
work through
unique,
that
the small
activity.
group. That was the first fun we ever had with that.
An
Was
event that
no one
I
else was
had
there.
the honor of pretty much solely designing and building all of the logic and having the stress of trying to get it working.
Agent Dooley from the CDF puts the call out for volunteers because basically the Nine Tails have taken over sort of a cluster of floating platforms in Orison.
And you are there to kill these sort of lieutenants of this terrorist organization and take back control. So in our current thinking, Siege of Orison is designed for about a 15 to 20 people fire team. So you, your friends, or your org will go in, you'll all have sort of dedicated roles. Some of you might be the tank who brings in the heavy weapons and sort of pulls the fire. Some of you might sit at the back and
Sounds
be
like
the
me.
sniper and pick people off who are a bit
I
further
imagine
to
who
make
do
the
that.
advance easier. Some of you will be the medic who sole job is going to be
There's
revive and
H3
look
and
after the rest
J-Scout.
of your team and the health of them. And some of you will be the
Wait,
people
what
who
armor
push
was
the
that?
objectives to try and get
The
sort of most of
diver
mission
helmet?
done. The event
No,
was
no, no,
designed for about
the
15 to
black
20
sneaky
people,
suit.
But when we released it, we fixed the problem with
Not the Geist one, the guy
two
who picked up
DGSs
the
on
hat.
one server that was fighting for
that
resources.
I don't know.
And with that, we also upped the player count to 100. So when it first debuted, it was already too full for what it was designed for.
It was
The other thing is, though,
a
with it
massive
being
operation
instanced
at the
and being
time.
moved over
I
to a
think
separate
that
server, it
bringing
may
it
also
back and
control
giving
the
you a
lag
refresher
and the
will be
desync.
A fantastic addition back
That's the
into
hope
the
for
PU.
sure.
So imagine if Siege was a instance that you could go in and play solo, or if it was a public event that you could go with your friends, or you could join up with random players on the server. There's lots of ways that we want to take a look at Siege, how we can make it a more approachable piece of content.
I'm excited, to say the least, to bring back Siege of Orison to Star Citizen and to sort of have it be one of the first tests that we have for instancing and really get it back to sort of a core experience point where it should be. So while the next season is quite heavily focused on Nyx, I'm also very happy that we're not really ignoring our other two systems of Standard and Pyro. We're going back there and we're sort of improving and expanding on the player's life in those two systems as well.
All right, all right.
Yes, and
You're
while
being
things like
extra needy
Genesis,
today.
interstellar hauling, crafting, Siege of Orison, and more will reveal next year, will continue to bring life into the existing universe outside of Nyx. There's still one more exciting use for instancing we're building right now. It's an earlier look than normal, and some of it is still in white box, but we're excited to share the first look at a major content release of 2026.
You know what? I bet they'll enable the med beds in the instant space too.
As an evolution of our
For
building
respawn.
interior initiative.
Well, I mean, just
you
like
won't
they're doing with
discover
the
it by
ASD.
accident, because when it's
Right.
complete, it will be found deep within the heart of Levski itself.
The wait,
This
what?
is the
You
municipal
yeah, I can't say the word.
Bailey, stop.
So inside the facility, you'll find huge
Municipal works.
Oh, yes. I remember them talking about this a while ago.
Yeah.
industrial tunnels, and eventually into the old turbines, which are still pumping heat into the old rock.
So this is the true story of Levski. This is a place where you won't see in Lorville, you won't see Night 18 or the other landing zone. It's the pure basis of Levski. You will have, of course, metal and tunnels and more structural place, but you will also see a lot of rock and cave. So it's not a place you go to take vacation. It's really a
What
place
is Wicklow in there?
you go to.
Where
fix
isn't
stuff.
Wicklow?
Not everybody has what it takes to come down there and do the job that needs to be done.
All of your sewage systems have stopped working. Everything's going to quite literally. And so the player is tasked with their group, most likely, to go into there, take out the outlaws, and get the facility working again.
Oh my God, Bailey.
So let me get this straight. This is literally a mission to fix the toilets of Levski.
So you're also trying to turn on the air.
Stop.
It is a bit more important.
Lay down.
It still works in Levski, but they have. Like,
I don't know. I think I would take the toilet over the air first.
It's not just
Poop mission.
It's also a little bit more exciting than just going into like some vents. It's like a free layered system where there's 3 chapters.
This will be mission-driven and
Back my
repeatable.
Discord.
Everything from mining to salvage to combat to investigation.
I would imagine that they're not going to have the big repair box over
Narratively,
top
progress
everything.
Every progression.
Yeah, they're probably just doing that for testing.
Well, yeah, they said it's in white
the
box.
mission flow.
Yeah, they said it's in white box. So
We've been wanting to have more gameplay around landing zones for a long time. Now that we have instancing tech coming online, that allows us to do something that provides really cool gameplay close to a landing zone.
With the missions, that's what will create different overlays or change the spaces or change the progression. But it'll be the instancing which will enable us to create tailored content to you and your group. So you're going to be able to play a part of it, make your progress, and then log off. And then the next time you come online, you'll be able to pick up where you left off.
It's going to allow players to return back to it at different states.
What's up,
depending on
Jello?
how much you've progressed, and be able to keep it going until you've reached sort of the end of the whole 3 chapters.
Where you're not going to have other people getting in your way. It's you, your team, your party.
It's a way of giving players content where they know exactly where they're at, and they
Some
can keep
flair
going
at some
back
point
to
will
it
be
and
a tool
improving
belt
sort of
with
their
pipe
own,
wrenches.
Progress
And a
ability
plunger.
to
Don't forget the
jump through
plunger.
faster and faster times.
Or
as
maybe you'll have a drain snake.
So that's a look at how we'll be allowing players and developers alike to create more.
I feel the need for
experiences
character
within
alts
the
to
greater sandbox
start becoming a thing,
of the
though.
universe. Okay.
Well, I mean,
Is
don't
that a
forget,
clear
at
this
one
point,
point
Derek?
they were
Almost.
saying that
Throw it
your
back to me, and I got
additional
one more
game
for you
packs
after
were going to be
Back to you,
usable
Jared.
NPCs.
Mm-hmm. Do we not understand these side motions?
Everybody's really excited about the year ahead. So that's a brief look at some of the ways in which we're allowing you and our developers to craft a more curated Star Citizen experience. Now, at this point in the show, we are in the home stretch. We've got only one more segment to go. But before we do that, we wanted to check out, we said earlier in the show that we would look at what you were saying during the show. We looked at how to put YouTube comments.
It would have been
on the,
epic if
on the
CIG folks were all standing on their
it was
chairs
immediately
T-posing.
apparent that we were going to lose our broadcast license, so we're not
I
gonna
don't
do that.
disagree with
We
you.
did find some social media stuff on Twitch, though, or not Twitter, X. What is it called now? Let's see what this says. Let's see. We've got Welcome Back Levski from, I'm not wearing my glasses. Oh, no. Oh, time to suit up. Let's go get them, says Ubu. I really should have worn my glasses. Cue the bagpipes. That's the other game, Charlie Oscar. Let's see. Nice to see you live, Jared. Mom? Let's see. First Citizen after playing for almost a decade in Austin. Oh, nice. Straight out of Klesher, back to the Hex. Photos from Leicestershire. How do you say it? Is that Leicestershire? Leicester?
I don't think they need to be careful about separating. I think that probably one of the biggest things that we run into are the new content and special events that they do run that just unfortunately people target to keep people from being able to finish it. And as I said, they'll have some that will allow it and some that won't.
Big finale, or we're going to wrap up the show with today.
We ran into it the other night going after the Valacar. We got all the way, spawned the Valacar and all that, and we just got pinned down by a group that just wanted nothing more than to keep us from being able to finish the goal. There were some other questionable things in there, but I mean, aside from that, I mean, their sole purpose was to just not allow us to play.
You know who you are. They had to know who. But doing Citizencon is not always the easiest thing for our developers. You might not
Really?
Assume this, but most game developers are not social butterflies. They tend to like to sit quietly in the dark at their computers like little goblins and just make digital virtual worlds like this. And then I come in all happy, like, hey, you want to be on video? And they're like,
it's like my coworker.
And I'm like, it's in your contract.
And
like,
the other thing is, you know, you're not going to always be able to hide on a private group. It's only going to be during like the final portion of a mission. You still have to get there.
A brief montage of some of the more candid moments from the filming of Citizencon over the last couple of weeks. So we're going to spend 2 minutes and take a look at that. Let's see what they put together.
How many Citizencons have you performed in now?
Performed? Just the one. Nope, my first one.
One last year.
2.
A few.
8.
Yeah. No, it's not going to be. From what they were explaining, it sounds like you're going to play up to a certain point, and when you get to that final portion, that will be instanced or a certain segment of it, but you still have to fight through everything and interact with the rest of the universe leading up to that point.
It's over.
So it's not going to be where you're going to be able to get in, just be in a private group and stay private and never interact with anybody.
Remember we were at that weird crack house in
Oh, God.
I like the live ones.
Oh, I mean, I love these digital ones.
Bailey!
These are the best.
Okay,
Every
you
time I've
can't
done it,
have
it has
all
been
the
a digital
attention.
one, and I'd
Go
like
lay
to
down.
do one on
Go
stage.
lay down.
Because you have a restraining order against you, or?
didn't know if I was going to be sick, if I was going to lose my stomach.
How hard is it to keep your eyes open on stage?
That's not a problem with the lights. Yeah, they're kind of, I'm realizing through this sentence that I'm closing my eyes as I speak. Do I do that a lot?
I am a very shy individual.
I'm not sure who that was,
Trying
J
to get
Scout.
out of my shell.
Getting the crowd to react to the ideas that we've been working on for so long.
We can react.
I can feel your passion from here.
Cut the camera. Count down 30 seconds. I'm like, do I stand up? Do I sit down? Do I drink? Do I not? Do I talk?
This will be the best one yet. That's right. Because it's nice and short.
Is this all supposed to be usable content? Because I could do different.
Yeah, I don't think that Star
Oh, well,
Citizen
yeah,
is
it's
aiming
why
it
it's
to
moist
where
favorite.
you can just go in private and stay in private the whole time. They want there to be that interaction.
We'll give you a new nickname by the end.
But they also know they have to find a balance between the
Let's
PvP,
get
the
started.
PvE, and things such as that. And I think what they're looking at doing is a fair
For those
balance.
of you watching at home or at the watch parties, you're like, why are we showing that? I put that in there because I'm eternally grateful for all of the CIG staff and developers
Bailey,
who take
you
the time
you
to
have been
appear on
needy
these
this
things,
whole
whether it's
2 hours.
ISC,
You need to go lay
Citizencon,
down.
Walk on stage, be
Go on, go lay down.
Be pre-recorded. It's not the easiest thing for everybody. And on behalf of the community, if I can speak for them in this regard, I want to say thank you for participating in these things each and every year that we have them. Now, let's wrap things up here. So, let's see. How do I want to do this? At this point, we've only got one major story left to tell. But before we do that, we wanted to do one more check-in on something we started last year. Last year, Rich Tyler took the stage and presented his roadmap to 1.0. And we didn't want to go an entire year without talking to the senior game director himself to get his update on that 1 year later. So we're going to throw it to him, and we're going to go to our last segment, and when we come back, we'll say our goodbyes. And if you're at a watch party, it's time to get... that's not a word I can say on the camera. Let's just go. Let's just throw it back to me.
In other words, he's
Throw
trying to say
me
time to
from
get
1 week
shit-faced.
ago.
Yes.
Schnockered, ripped, shit-faced, all the same.
Last year,
The
Senior Game
playability
Director
is
Rich Tyler
amazing.
took to the stage and revealed our plan for 1.0. Now, before we end this year's Citizencon Direct, we wanted to take a few moments and follow up on that reveal from last year, to do as we've done today and look at the year
I mean, the
ahead.
playability
So,
has never
Rich,
been better.
Thanks for taking the time to join us.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Everybody knows the only constant in game development is change. So I'm going to ask you outright, what's changed about the road to 1.0?
Well, fortunately, nothing. It still remains our North Star. The team is busy working towards that goal in the background, and every patch this year has moved us towards that goal. And if you haven't watched the Star Citizen 1.0 presentation from last year, I highly recommend you do so, because everything in it is still relevant as of today.
You mentioned every patch.
J
this
Scale
year
loves
has
these parts because
moved us
Richard's
towards
his
that goal, so I
favorite
wanna dig deeper
guy
into
at
that.
CIG.
We've done, at this point, 9 releases in this year, more than any year prior. How does each one of these not just sit as their own moment in time, but move us forward on this road to 1.0?
Well, last year I discussed the framework of 1.0, how all those complex systems can tie together. And one of the core aspects of that was the main story, which became the spine of the universe, which brought all of the locations, mission givers, guilds, and all the different areas of the game to the players. Now, what I didn't talk about from last
You went out and
year
got
was
yourself
all
a
of the
5070,
content that
so
was
you
gonna
should be able to...
support
Oh,
that
5070 will run this no
framework.
problem.
Add the flesh to the bones, should we say.
I mean, I was
Because
using a
that's where
4070
this year
Super
was
and it
moving us towards
outperformed
that
my
goal.
3090.
If you
You'll be
think
fine
about
with the
previous
5070.
events of previous years, they've generally been locations that we've put into the verse, but they've been transient. We've taken them away, like Siege of Orison or Zenith Threat. We've added them to game, and then they've been moved away. And I think with the addition of the patches this year, when you look at the Hathor facilities, Onyx facility, these are permanent additions to the world that not
Also
only
running a
have their own
6900 XT.
story, as when we release them with the patches, but they'll also be
Yeah, I mean, when I was
points of
even
interest
running
and areas
a
that
3060
the larger
Ti when I
local
first started
narrative
playing it,
really
ran it
utilise.
perfectly
Since we're on
fine.
story,
But
I'm gonna
the
keep on staying with this
3090
here.
ran it
Since we
beautifully,
launched
and then the
PU back
4070
in
Super.
2015, It's always been this sandbox. This
And now I
sandbox
got
where
a
players
9700
can do what
XT.
they want. They can bring their own story to the verse, and that'll never change. But how important is it that we also build this concurrent narrative of our own, this crafted experience, if you will, alongside that?
Well, we're trying to create a living, breathing universe. And that includes both the player stories that you mentioned, that they can go and enjoy and create their own memories together. But it also means that we want to have a universe that gives back. We want areas and locations to feel like they're believable and real life locations. And if you look throughout this year and the patches that we've worked towards, we've had an overarching story that's moved from patch to patch, and we're going through some of those cycles right now. We've also been introducing mission content that has fully voiced dialogue and facial animation, which allows us to
I will
inject some
say
of
this
the
past
meaning
year,
and
since the
why
last
to
Citizencon,
what
has
we're doing as
probably
a player. I
been
think story is
the
integral
most
to Star
productive
Citizen as a connective
year
tissue
of
that
content
ties all of
and
these different
everything
complex
else
systems
and
together,
stability
because
that
it takes players on that journey
in the
throughout the game.
what 5-6 years I've been doing that they've done.
Start injecting story into the verse.
Jello, are the puppies
really
mad at me? No, it's
Everybody
just
knows,
Bailey,
you
and she's
mentioned
just being
just now
needy.
That this year we changed a whole lot about.
We're about an
how we
hour
operate
away
and
from
how
her
we
feeding
use it.
time, so she
How do you
starts
think
in
that's
early.
gone?
I think it's gone very well. I think if the mantra that I've always been pushing this year right at the beginning of January
Huck's just
was
chilling.
patch always goes. And I think this year has seen a different development strategy for how we've been moving the game forward. That's where
I mean, the development has
this
definitely
different
really taken
strategy
off.
has allowed us to really take a wider approach. And we also have to remember that Star Citizen is played by tens of thousands of players every day. And while we have lofty future goals, we still have to make decisions right now that make the game fun for the people that are playing it all the time, and playing it as their daily game. If you look at previous years, we've had to hold a patch back, we've had to make concessions, mainly due to around a feature may not been ready or right to go into there.
There were 3 months, 4 months, sometimes 5 months between patches.
Exactly, and I don't think that's good for anybody. I don't think it's good for the players. I don't think it's good for the development team. I think it's better to have regular cadence of drops. One good example is this year for A Line of Mine. People probably don't know, but A Line of Mine, when you turned on the laser, it was actually supposed to reveal the slam word Valakar. And I played it, and it didn't hit the quality that I wanted to go into the game. So we changed, and I took it out, and I made that decision alongside Chris and Erin, and we've held that back, and we're going to work on that towards a future patch. But I think definitely the more regular cadences has had the multiple benefits, and like I said, I want to dispel a myth right here, right now. Like, features are still being worked on quite heavily in the background, from radar and scanning, from FPS, the new quantum, to inventory, engineering, and crafting.
No.
And all of those features are going to be coming
I'm
very,
not going to
very
pay any
soon
more
for
attention to
players
you.
get their hands on. And, you know, I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to sit here and say that if I was to go back to the start of the year, I would hope that we would have released more features. But I also think every decision we've made this year has been through the lens of making the live experience as stable and as good as possible.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a bit about the year before. And the year before has been, I've said this before, I've said it internally, I've said it out there, I'm going to say it right now again on camera. I think this has been the best year of Star Citizen ever, and I'm willing to
I would not disagree
look
with
right
that
into the camera and
statement.
say that. The player numbers are up, engagement numbers are up, the length of the play sessions are up, bug numbers are down, 30K is gone. It's been a solid year. But Citizencon isn't Citizencon without talking about the future. So I want to move us to the future. We've talked about story. We've talked about this more diegetic, immersive universe and adding voice lines and stuff like this. But where do we go from here? Obviously that continues, but what more are we going to do to make this universe seem alive and real and breathing?
I think the biggest thing is to start having that conversation be two-way. So if you think about this year, like you mentioned, we've been having fully voiced NPCs, but a lot of those missions and those NPCs, they're talking to you, they're talking at you. Right. You don't get to talk back to them. Now, obviously, you get to interact with them through your actions. You get to go and do their mission, and you get to move that along, and then they talk to you again. But it's a one-way conversation.
We're missing that conversation wheel.
Exactly. The next part would be physical mission givers. That's something that we're going to be working towards very soon, with Battaglia being the first one coming back in the verse. And just to be clear, we will be bringing all the mission givers eventually back, and we want them to be an integral part of the verse and the story that players go and enjoy. We want the locations to be brought to life, and as we mentioned last year, we want to have interactive scenes that you can go and be part of. And obviously the full end goal is towards, you know, to have cinematic stories in the game, and that is what we're going to be pushing towards. Everything we do, every decision we make is through the lens of moving us closer to 1.0. It might sometimes be difficult to see why those decisions
I mean,
have been made.
and to be honest with you, I mean, I never imagined we were going to see Nix
Star
this
Citizen
year.
1.0 is still our North Star.
Mhm.
That's what we're still aiming towards.
Yeah, I was
And
surprised.
that's what we're going to be moving forward with every patch next year as well.
And remembering when mission givers were first introduced, they sometimes became a bottleneck. Is there a role in instancing, which we learned about earlier today? Is there a role for instancing in that, in helping with mission givers?
Yes, partially. It will be one mechanism that will allow us to have players go to their own individual area of the verse, have that conversation, and then go and continue on into the open world environment. So I think that's where, when we look at instancing provides us one tool that allows us to remove that bottleneck and provide a more seamless experience.
Happy
Ron Dog, I can definitely say no disappointment on the progress they've made this year.
How we reconcile instancing with the persistent universe. Like, for the last 10 years now, we've been building this giant, seamless, persistent universe where everybody can come in and play together. And it would be easy to have a first instinct reaction to the idea of instancing and say that's antithetical to everything that Star Citizen is. But you mentioned last year these 3 pillars of building Star Citizen in the PU, and I want to know, you said nothing changed, but I want to ask you about this specifically. What are those 3 pillars again, and how does instancing fit within the greater design of Star Citizen?
So the 3 pillars I mentioned last year were open world. That's just like the missions you love today. You can go and play, there's other players there, and you can go and enjoy that together. Then we have instancing, which I'll talk about more, but similar to municipal works that we've talked about previously. And then the 3rd pillar was dynamic content, which would be content that's generated by the activities of the players. And I think it's very easy to become myopic around one specific thing when we're talking about it a lot, when it's the next stage of our development. And I think you could reverse it. If we'd have made a game that was all instance, and then I'd come on camera and said, hey guys, we're going to start doing it open world, it would be like, oh, is the game changing? Are we doing open world now? Is open world the new you know, North Star that's going to take us this way? And it's not. It's just one more tool that's going to allow us to offer different and dynamic experiences for players to go and engage in. Now, when I talk about instancing isn't always what you'd imagine as a solo instance experience where it's only just you. We're going to have several different versions of instances. Some are going to be closed instances, which will be like the new player experience. We'll be able for you to go in by yourself, for us to teach you the ropes in a safe environment so that you can understand how to play the complex game that we've made. But we'll also have open instances, like a cantina or a bar, where we might say, hey, we only want 50 people to come in here because we've got mission givers and we've got other NPCs for you to talk to, and you would just walk in and it would be seamless. You wouldn't know that there was an instance, it's not going to get a loading screen, you would just seamlessly walk into that location, it would be full of other players and NPCs, and you can go and enjoy the content. And that's, I think, something that instancing is going to provide us. It's going to give us a tool to offer different dynamic content, or curated content, as I'd say. It allows us to create experiences that are different to the open world experiences that we've already made. And it's not to say that we won't continue our open world development or only do instance content. It's going to be a mix. And like I said, this is one of the pillars that will move us towards 1.0.
Yeah, I can see them going
We
away
will
after
eventually
that,
work
Jello.
on dynamic content that will move us toward 1.0.
I think
And all
every
three of those
game
pillars will interweave
in their
to
own way
create
finds a
the
balance
full
that
Star
works with their
Citizen
gameplay. What may work
All right, so
with
we've hit a
a
lot of
Fallout or
the
something like
bigger
that doesn't
topics, the
necessarily
feature work,
going
engineering, and
to
FPS
work
graphic
in
coming
another
with tech
game.
previews soon and
But
stuff like this.
I can't say I'm
We talked
disappointed in the
about
way that they're
instancing
trying to
and how
find a
that's gonna
balance.
work within the universe. But I want to ask you this one last big one. It's very easy to say Star Citizen is this kind of game and that kind of game. Those of us who spend our days making it know better. It's an everything game. It's everything we can make a game. It just is. But at the core of this is still spaceships. That life of spaceships. What more can you tell us about spaceship gameplay in the future? What can you give us? What can you tee up for us to look forward to for those of us who are really into Star Citizen for the spaceships?
Our intentions going forward are to make sure that every ship or ship archetype that you
I mean, no matter how they balance and all that, they're never going to be able to 100% rule out griefers. There's no way to 100%
more robust mining missions,
make that go
more
away.
robust salvage missions. We're going to be working on refueling missions, and we want to make sure that
there's just
each
some
and every
people
one
that
of the
want to watch
ship
the world
has a
burn and take
purpose,
everybody
has
with
a
them.
reason to exist in the game. That's from the smallest Argo MPUV, as well as ground vehicles, all the way up to the large capital ships. We want to give them purpose, and I think it's something that we are absolutely
I'm waiting
aware
for the
of.
mission
We
types
wanna
that
make
come
sure
out
we're
for
building
the
that spectrum of content
Raptor.
to allow players to go and engage in. And I think 2026 is going to be
Well, we have to clean up the streets
a
of
very
Area
good year
18.
for Star Citizen, and I think there's going to be something that's very interesting and something that a lot of people have been waiting for. But rather than me spoil it, I'll let Ian and the team go into the details on that.
Get a twinkle in his eye. Ian, take it away.
So the persistent universe has existed for over 10 years now. During that time, we've created lots of gameplay systems. We've added hundreds of
Well, yeah, I mean,
locations.
that's
We've
always what
added
griefers want.
lots
They
of
want the
mission
reaction.
activities for different
They want to
purposes.
piss people
Combat,
off and
cargo,
engage them
mining,
in
salvaging.
an argument
But
as
for
much as
combat
they want to
ships,
engage them in anything
the only
else.
thing you've been able to do is fight other combat ships. In 2026, this changes. We're going to be delivering a spaceship-focused activity space which incentivizes the use of different gameplay roles. These are going to be scenarios where you're going to have to plan and strategize and create operational tactics to overcome your objective. So what you're going to see is very early. It's early in the pipeline process, and it's
so
going
like
to come
July.
online about mid next year. But we're really excited about the content we're creating, so we want to share with you a super early look at what we're building.
Tactical strike
in a space we're calling Tactical Strike Groups.
Oh, damn.
The People's Alliance are still trying to get to the bottom of what this new faction is really doing in the Nix system.
They've sent a capital ship to check out a station and run it into more than they can take care of themselves.
Unfortunately, that team came under attack and members of their groups were taken hostage. Now they've reached out to Intersect, who've reached out to you to help recover the pilot. Of course, it's unwise to do this alone, so you'll need to put a team together to attack the station.
When you arrive, you will have this big asteroid, kind of broken asteroid, and on this you will have this base where you will find three big arms. You will see in the middle, you will have this big energy core. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just for the show, just something nice to see.
You'll see a People's Alliance-owned Idris that's just on the outside, and it's going to be getting harassed by this unknown faction that you have met before.
So your first objective here is to clear out the ships. There'll be waves of these ships, so this is where you want your light or your medium or your heavy fighters, whichever playstyle you prefer.
So while one part of your group is dealing with the fighters, Now it's time to actually assault the station.
This station has been outfitted to resist all of the obvious way of attacks.
Somehow they've incorporated Vanduul capital ship killing turrets. These turrets ignore small fighters, and they have the firepower to destroy even the biggest capital ships.
Oh, Jesus.
Your Polaris and your Idris, if you get it close, it will get shredded. The idea of these is so we can sort of make it so we can mix up that ship combat, and not everyone can just bring the biggest ship and win just because they have the biggest ship.
Haley.
You have to send out your best pilots to navigate the superstructure and take down anything that may damage your bigger ships. So at this point you're thinking, destroy the turret.
I was just gonna grab a wrench and pull it off and add it to the ship.
Yeah,
This
really.
turret has shields that you've never seen before. It won't take any kind of damage. Your missiles won't do anything. Your lasers won't do anything. Your ballistics won't do anything to them. But like everything, they do have a weakness. You have to cut the power to their shields. To do that, that actually brings you to your first objective, the power relays.
Oh, look at that. You just shoot the red box.
So the exterior has a number of power relays that are holding.
Use the Force, Luke.
You have to find them, you have to target them, and you have to destroy them. But it may not be as easy as it seems.
Here's our first wrinkle. The power relays have their own shields that are resistant to energy-based attacks.
We know how much you like using laser repeaters, but so do these guys.
Ballistics.
Capital ship can't get close enough because of the turrets.
So ships
Grenade.
with explosive or ballistic ordnance will be needed here.
And some duct tape.
That's torpedo ships like your Retaliator or Gladiator, or even another fighter with ballistics loadout. That's going to take you a while.
Wow, 2 torpedoes on that? That's a lot of money.
Once the power relays have been taken down, the station opens up.
And this is where things get really cool.
Now it's time for you to fly your ship inside the station.
Yeah, you, in your ship, fly into the superstructure of this station.
How cool is that? I feel like this is a proud dad moment. Thank you, Jared.
We're just going to call it what it is. It's a trench run.
He's honest about it, at least. Oh, hell yeah.
So as you enter the structure, you'll see cooling units along the
I
sides.
mean, yeah, they're borrowing the idea, but it's a pretty awesome idea.
Well, it is. I mean, they take inspiration. I mean, the Mercury Star one was inspired by, you know, Millennium Falcon. They've taken inspiration from numerous different places.
Or you need to bring friends.
I
If they're
remember,
gonna take it from anything, take it from Star Wars. I mean, come on.
yeah, like remember the original was just like polygons that like
Oh,
flew
yeah.
apart? Like
objects to
this
avoid.
is
You're gonna
what
have
it
to be
would
able
have
to
looked like
dodge.
if they
You're gonna
had
have
that
to move quickly.
technology.
You need an agile ship.
Hey, I may have a chance of making it through the trench if I got an agile ship.
Lots of distortion damage.
Maybe you get through the asteroid field.
So once the cooling units are out, that exposes the core to overheat, which means
See, I'd be the type that I'd try to take my Connie in there.
also from exhaust ports on the outside of the station. This core is armored and just takes a whole lot of damage.
Moab.
No Moabs in space, but the Eclipse can definitely launch a few size 9s in.
Once the power core
The
goes
Eclipse
down, the
might be a
turrets come
little
down, and then the
too wide a
capital ships
wingspan for that space.
No, that exterior exhaust port that they were having them shoot, those were Eclipses that they showed shooting the torpedoes.
And you're going to want to top up.
Thought you meant flying
We're
through.
gonna get our new feature in. Ship hangar,
Oh, you know we're going to
fueling,
take the
and
biggest ship
rearming.
that will fit through there. And maybe some that may not be perfectly fitting. Knock off a wing or a tail, we'll be fine.
So you're telling me you're going to get an Idris stuck in there.
They're getting intership rearming and refuel.
The Idris and the Polaris and other ships
refuel and rearm in the Idrises.
have other ships land inside them.
Of course, it'll be more than just those 2 ships, and you'll find out more once we
Jay
get
Scale,
closer to
chill out.
release. But this is a really important feature that we're really excited to get out.
If you're not bringing your own Idris, the People's Alliance has a Idris there that can provide a safe port in a storm, allow you to set back up and head back out.
And it's a good thing that you've rearmed and refueled too, because now another group of ships is coming to attack the People's Alliance Idris.
And there's the Paladin.
So while the fighters are protecting the Idris, what's happening at the station? Well, that's where the dropships come in.
Landing party.
Now you've got to take a fire team in. You've got to land, you've got to fight through an onslaught of FPS enemies that belong to this unknown faction, and you've got to open a hangar door which will allow you to release captives from the station.
They're gonna get player slide in?
After you've opened the doors and that person's taken off, you've just got to make sure they get to safety.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
At this point, all of this sounds pretty
Extraction
simple, but there's an
mission.
additional complication.
Station.
Mm-hmm.
So up to this point, it's just been you versus the enemies in the station. But the enemies in the station have their own enemies.
The Van Duel neighbors who really don't like these guys for some reason will come in and wreak havoc on everything.
Oh!
They're not going to discriminate between you and the station. They're out for blood.
So finally some Van Duel ship to ship.
When you alert the Van Duel by destroying the power core that the station's now vulnerable, you're on a time limit. Van Duel are coming, they're going to come hard, they're going to keep coming, you're going to have one hell of a fight.
Kingship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
I feel like we're gonna need to drop a lot of mines.
I think we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Tactical strike groups. I'm personally so invested in this. So throughout 2025, we created a variety of content.
Something
Some of
I
it was
said
very
have set off my
focused on
Google
FPS
to
combat. So personally,
give me the history of
driving
jazz
a more
music.
vehicle-based
Mhm.
is very important to me. This
Oh.
is a defining statement that I want.
Thank God we own a lot of Idrises.
We're a spaceship.
Mhm.
There are prized possessions. To the objects we fall in love with. This is the content we want to create, which creates scenarios and roles for you to use those spaceships. We won't get to all roles initially, but we should see this as a landmark.
Yes, we
Position
will
where
need the
we can
bodies to
see
man
a
everything.
Gameplay space which incentivizes the use of different ships.
Or
and
NPC
scenarios to
positions.
clear objectives and complete missions in a variety of roles. And in the future, we can use this to expand on. So I hope you're all just as excited as I am for tactical strike groups.
Oh, that looks
It's gonna be
awesome.
fantastic.
That looks freaking amazing.
We'll just take the ship in the lunchroom.
The John Crew puppets just bouncing up and down.
Okay. Why do you still have the puppet? John, come home. All right, so tactical strike groups. You know, it's been a long road for the last 10 years that PU's been around. We've done lots to build stuff for mining ships and for salvage ships, and as Rich said, we're currently building out even more for those, and our first refueling missions coming online in 2026. But combat missions. Oh, hi, Aaron Roberts. Aaron Roberts. But finally having enough of the foundation in place that we can begin to build real spaceship operations, in any other MMO they'd call dungeons. It's really exciting for me, and that's why we're ending the show this year with that. So yeah, that's been Citizencon Direct. Thank you for taking the time to share this with us. Again, this is just a glimpse at some of what's coming in 2026. I've seen the Twitch chat and the YouTube chat like, oh, you're spoiling everything. I promise, we ain't. So before we let you go, that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as with every Citizencon, the last word shouldn't be mine. It should belong to our founders and CEO. So take it away, Chris Roberts.
I hope you enjoyed this glimpse into some of what the team is cooking for the near future. Of course, we're not going to spoil everything that's currently in progress, and many features we haven't discussed today are in active development, like base building, social, and trade tools that are very much a priority. These, along with bringing the final polished features from Squadron 42.
J-Skill, I think part of the base building is the whole crafting thing. So we saw the update on the initial crafting tier, which that's all going to lead to that base building.
So much passion to deliver something that is
And
already
crafting is going to be much easier to accomplish than base building.
And of course, to all of you for
No,
making
agreed.
all this possible with your support and feedback. We couldn't do this without all of you, something that I and the team appreciate every day. We are very lucky to be allowed the time and the money to build the game of all of our dreams, something that is only more apparent as the video game business becomes more monolithic. We are one of the few large independents left standing, and there is no way we would be allowed to dream as big as we are on an original game and take the time to achieve that dream if we were part or funded by any of the few remaining mega game companies. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the verse this coming year.
Oh yeah, I could definitely. In a roundabout way, it's a little bit of an update, but I definitely see what you mean, and it would have been nice to hear something more in depth. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that they couldn't fit into the 2-hour format because they've actually already ran over by 20 minutes. That we would have seen if it was a standard start Citizencon. So, all right, so that is pretty much coming to the end of it. We're going to turn the volume on that down there for just a brief second. But I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us for the watch party here as we watch 2955 Citizencon. Don't forget the Citizencon goodie pack is now available in game. Also, the Paladin, the Shiv, and the Stinger are all available on the Pledge store. With war bonds as well as CCUs and all of that. PTU is open to everybody. Remember, if you do get any of those new ships, make sure you delete and recopy your account on PTU so that any new items that you get transfers over. Also, I want to take a moment just to again plug the fact that we will be doing the. I better get rid of this before I get a copyright from Jimmy Kimmel. Don't forget, we'll be doing our Golem mining competition next Saturday from 6 till midnight. And if you want to get involved with that, you can visit us on the Discord and DM me directly. It's going to be a winner-take-all, raw or value, while using the Golem for mining. And the prize will be a $29.55 digital goodies pack, including all those armors that you saw, and the new LMG, and the other items, including the Vandal plushie. And then there'll also be an additional $20 value from the subscriber or pledge store for armor, weapons, or something like that that we'll add on top of that. So a $50 value overall for the winner who wins that competition. And you guys will be able to catch it here. We'll be using VDO, so you'll be able to see all the different action from the different miners that are going on while it's going. And appreciate everybody participating in that and helping put it together. And you guys for hopefully coming by and watching it. And then we will be doing our standard stream schedule next week, starting with Tuesday with Star Citizen, Wednesday with Dune, Thursday with World of Warcraft, Friday is going to be maybe Battlefield 6, and Saturday with Borderlands. But tonight we will be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Time as we go into the PTU with all of these new items here. And we'll also probably take a look at going after another Yarmandi, along with the new ships in the PTU. So join us for that here in about an hour and a half. And before we actually step away, want to say happy birthday to J-Skell, who celebrates his birthday tomorrow. Since we're not streaming tomorrow, we'll put it out there. He's an old man and he's getting older, so we wish him a very happy birthday. We appreciate all the work and the help that he does with the org, the Discord, and everything else. So happy birthday to you, J-Scale. He may be on a little bit later with us while we're streaming, so everybody stop by, wish the man a happy birthday tomorrow as he gets another year older, and he will always still be older than me, so that's all that matters. So, but until then, I hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully we'll see you back here at 7, And we'll kick it over, see if there's anybody that we can do a raid on to help support the community. And let's see, anybody on? Well, it looks like everybody is ending because they're all watching Star Citizen Citizencon. So actually, we'll just hold off on the raid till later then. But everybody have a great night. Thank you for being here, and be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.